Hello and welcome to the Tumble Tankard. I am Jim, aka Argent Wind, and I am your dungeon master for Avress, the Shattered World. We are here for today's adventure. You guys are going to see we're going to pick up right where we left off from last time. The party, having managed to do a little service for the Pixie Queen over in the Feywild there, were able to uh, after recovering the world seed and returning to them, she agreed to send the party back to where she had met them on the material plane. In fact, right in front of the Mystic Menagerie. Um, as you guys appeared, headed into the shop, we ended up there last time, and we're gonna pick up right there in the shop as you step inside. But first, within a minute or so of you guys um, being back and getting into the shop there, Amethyst, you just
Yes,
get this frantic voice in your head. Where are you? What are you doing? What's going on? What just happened? Why haven't I been able to talk to you for the it's been like uh, what
it's
so
a
my question to
long
you,
story.
uh-huh.
I will
I'll
explain
bet.
it. We basically got trapped in the Feywild. The surprise visit to there. I will explain everything to you very soon. I'm in Port Oruss at the moment. I'll be home soon.
Okay. Well, just letting you know, Kiva's still here. She's getting a little restless. Although
Awesome.
she's planning a trip and is getting all secretive about where she wants to go. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but um, she said she'd stick around till you guys got back at least. So, um, come home soon. Miss you and stay wild, huh? That's
Uh huh.
that's a neat trick. Well, I'll look forward to hearing about it, but at least you're back. I was awful worried there that there was.
I'm sorry. It was not done on purpose, obviously.
Well, hey, at least we know now that we can't talk across planes. I never thought I'd be talking to my girlfriend about something like that.
All right.
I mean, that who does that? You obviously. Okay. All right.
Apparently.
So, yeah. In that case, we'll talk again soon. I know you got a lot to do, I'm sure. Welcome back to the world, I guess.
Thank you.
Okay. And with
No,
that,
thank
she'll
you too.
okay. So, yeah, obviously, and it as soon as that voice pops into your head, there, you're just like you. It just suddenly hits you the fact that you were out of contact. That
Oh,
normal little like itchy buzz you have just because you're connected to people all the time was just gone. You could still obviously you had telepathic bonds you could set up with your friends and everything else there in the Feywild. But while you were there, that things were just quieter than normal. And now that you're back, you're like, oh, there's that sound I normally hear.
yeah, I obviously will have tried while I was there to talk to, because it's constant, it's a continual thing. We're always in contact. So
Sure.
I would have tried and thought, oh shit, can't do that. But you know,
Well, I can see. I mean, the fact was, I mean, you went from like the house to the swamp to being almost transported to the court, and so you really didn't have a lot of time other than during your travels, which you realize now and all of you, as you're kind of thinking about this, the time in the Feywild felt weird because like you were walking through the Everwood to reach the courts of autumn, the lands of autumn there, and it there's no real concept of how long that took for you. I mean, you stopped for lunch, you stopped there, but it like you realize that the amount of distance you traveled doesn't match up with the time that would have taken.
yeah.
Or maybe you didn't really travel very far and the time was all bendy and who knows? It's didn't like even now it's like it's hard to it's hard to put together in your mind a sequence. I mean, the sequence of events is fine, but just the time in between those events is just like there's no real concept behind it for you.
I thought it would have been like less than it felt like, because obviously Alindra was like, you were just here and then you weren't here, and
Yeah. Well, you definitely have come back to a point where I mean So whatever time you left, um, it's still the same. What you can piece together, it's still the same day that you were at the manor house, but very like, and you sort of piecing it together here, like you're back now before you left
Ooh. Huh?
because you were
Huh?
at the manor house. It was getting to be like evening.
It
You're
was.
now early afternoon.
Well, then Ellie wouldn't have really missed me at all, would she?
I mean, well, the fact was that, yeah, essentially, that's why I was asking you before, like, what was the last thing you said? Did you talk to her on the way there? I mean, I know you say it's constant, but I mean,
The
like,
last
did
thing I
you?
remember thinking is, like telling her that if you want, I can start messaging you between games to say, but
Oh,
like there are so many snakes here, but a chorus here, and hopefully won't be able to leave this time.
okay,
Um,
yeah, because I mean, normally that sort of like does sort of take an action, so it's something that's hard to do in the middle of combat. So, um,
yeah,
it's almost like doing sending, so it requires you to like concentrate and focus on it. So,
yeah.
we'll,
I mean, it
we'll
would have
work
been
that
when
out.
we can see, before combat even started, kind of thing.
Okay. Okay. Then yeah. So I mean, effectively, yeah. So now, yeah, now you're kind of like, wait a minute. Again, there was just sort of that weird thing of like, was time? Yeah, it's definitely doing your head in a bit here. Like it's like, hang
Wibbly
on, you left
wobbly.
before, yeah. But according to her, she wasn't able to contact you for a while, even though it's yeah. So things are bent and funny right now.
Mm.
So. But we are in the menagerie. Danlin is there on his little levitation apparatus there, kind of working on stocking shelves and moving things around, kind of this typical thing there. Lindra is behind the counter there and very happy to see you guys. And I appreciate and, and feeling strange the fact that you just leave a little while ago? I thought you're already back. And so
Mm,
um,
mm,
he's definitely like, this
mm.
is. Did you go? What's that? What's happening? You're
Yeah, we went, and we're back
that,
before we left. I think we went to the Feywild.
Oh, okay. That would explain that to a degree. I mean, I understand the concept of it, but seeing it in action, that's a little strange, right? Okay. Well, glad you're back and in more or less one piece. Um, well,
I am in fact going to write, I think, a treatise on the experience. Um, and I will give you a copy. It was truly fascinating, terrifying, and fascinating. Yes.
well, I can't wait. That I mean, wait. So you're in the Feywild and you're back. Okay. I'll have to hear about some time here, but good to have you back. And what can I do for you? I mean, what do you need?
We were just teleported back here. I don't know that we actually need anything to be. Do we?
Um, well, while we were here, did you uh, get anything new?
Well, the shelves are a little bit. Our inventory is kind of shifting a little bit here. Some things you're going to see. Um, there's a. You're gonna just pointing out a couple of things here. Obviously some trinkets, some odd little components. I think you're all be able to see this now currently. Um, there's no prices listed on the items over here, but if you're interested, I'll tell you the price as well. But yeah, I mean, yeah, there's some odd trinkets here. We have some more components there. We've gotten in some odd things, and um, we've had some a few requests and got a little extra things to keep for people here. The elemental water and the silver powder is always nice for things here.
Yes, I am actually going to go ahead and take the elemental water, as I am working on a project currently, and will need some elemental water to accomplish that. So I shall take some of
Yeah.
that.
Right.
Yes.
It's a little vial about maybe a couple inches high or whatever, just kind of filled up with stuff there. But it's definitely it's very cold to the touch. It's just you kind of shake it to realize there's actually water in it because it's so clear. Um, and so yeah, it's just it's a clear glass vial. Um, I wanted magic detection. It's very obvious there. The Revenant Double Blade. There's a weird looking scimitar. There, and it's a scimitar with an extra, almost like a little short dagger on the handle, and it has this odd, crooked, like bent, crooked uh, haft on it there, or hilt. That it seems to be. It curves up one side, and the dagger curves down a different side. There, it's a very odd looking shape there. Um, Lucas, you probably have the most. There are some actually amethyst too. It's actually a weapon that's kind of a little more exotic from kind of some of the plains riders and desert dwellers over there tend to use these sort of odd looking curved blades. Um, but that's, I mean, it's not technically magical, but it's very interesting to look at there. A rope of mending. Oh, this is a lot of fun. This one you cut it off and it grows back, or you cut it off and stick it back together again, and it'll mend itself back together. So kind of a big old rope that can kind of fix itself. Now, if you actually cut it and then lose one of the sides there, it won't grow back the side that's wrong, but it'll put it together again if you have it, as long as there. So you can cut it and so yeah, it's kind of a fun little thing. Thora, you do see this Sunforger is actually a warhammer, and it is actually in a case set up there. It has like very much of a light, like a sunburst motif across the hammer there, almost like a golden looking haft there. It is definitely magical, and it is in sort of a display case almost at the side there. There's hanging on a rack there with a little a mat underneath it. There is this like dark leather apron that seems to be covered in blood, and it drips on the floor, and then the blood goes away. But it's like it's kind of gruesome, but it's interesting. But look at there, obviously magic there. A set of little lenses on a little mannequin stand. Eyes are charming. A pair of little golden lions sitting on a shelf there. A matched pair of lions made of gold here. An odd looking, weirdly enough, it's similar to the twig blight blood that you were looking at, sort of a glowy looking greenish liquid in a vial. That you're kind of like, wait, that looks a little bit like the stuff that kept getting coated by when the twig blights kept popping. um, it has sort of that glowy green essence to it there. An amulet of health, spyglass of clairvoyance, ring of cold resist, and then a couple of scrolls and a potion down there that are quite Ellen, you kind of glance over them like those are yeah, those are kind
Yeah.
of
Yeah. How interesting. Your stock has improved greatly since the
we've been
last time. Yes.
I mean, we've been getting things in and kind of moving stuff around. Some things Nils brought over from some clients that he had, and we've just been trying to kind of restock some more interesting items, and things have been kind of moving back and forth in and out of our inventory. So, yeah, anything you're interested in there, let me know. I can get you the price on that. Let you in there. Um,
I mean, it is, of course, as I gesture to myself, I can't use it. However, the Sunforger, there, what is its properties?
which one?
I'll gesture up to the little mace there in the little
Sure.
case.
Oh, that. Well, that I'm not even sure where this came from. Uh, Nils dropped it off here. I'm not sure where he got it from. This thing's powerful. Effectively is a +2 Warhammer. Um, but you can hurl it to a point 120 feet, as you can see. It then vanishes in an explosion, creating a 20-foot radius centered on there. It can take fire damage, and it will then reappear back in your hand. It can't do that again until a short or long rest. If you don't call it back to your hand, it will reappear back at the point where it exploded when you're no longer attuned to it, or when 24 hours have passed. If you just leave it into place there, it'll be gone and then reappear. But yeah, it can explode in a fiery burst of heat, essentially. But yeah, that's kind of a pricey one there, but it's pretty interesting. Yeah.
Yes, truly interesting. It is always nice to. I do, in fact, appreciate weapons. However, the spyglass of clairvoyance.
Um, Effectively, it's not really quite the clairvoyant spell, but when you look through it, you can sort of like ignore things that are in the way and see beyond them. So essentially, you can, if you're looking at a building, you can sort of ignore the building and see what's past the building when you look through the spyglass. It doesn't actually cast a clairvoyant spell. It can just it just removes things in your way when you're looking at it there. It's almost like a um, like it wasn't even there.
How interesting. And how much for that out of curiosity?
Oh, that for you all 480 gold.
Ooh. Wonderful. That is a possibility. And then, lastly, the figure of the golden lions. Uh,
Uh those are always fun. Those 4,800. And Lucas, you know that she pretty much gives like a 30% discount roughly on everything in the store there. Um, so it could be a little bit more potentially, but she's definitely cutting into uh, profits by. But yeah, you guys are good customers and all. You're good for your money. So
How much would the amulet of health be? It's quite useful to anyone,
that's
really.
almost the same price. It's basically 4,500 gold. It really just makes your Constitution 19 when you're attuned to it.
Anyone can use that if you've got a slot free.
Yep.
um, my con's at 18, so
Yeah,
I'm already there.
you're already at
Uh,
+4. So yep.
yeah.
Mhm.
Sora is not though, right?
Yeah,
She's
Sora's
at 16. But she's
really
also maxed out on her attunements. Yeah, my con is
Ooh.
a 16.
Yeah.
wow. That'd be a plus. That'd be a +1 to con. +1 to con mod.
Yeah, but she's maxed out on attunements.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
it would be either put that on by putting that on or taking off the ring of free action
That's pretty useful.
or the ring
Yeah.
of shielding or the parrot out of wound closure
Yeah. Well,
or the cloak of
I mean,
protection.
if there's something
Adding
you
an
want to think
extra.
about, if you want to
Yes.
think about, I can always set it aside for you. If you
Mhm.
come back later on, if you want to change your
Mhm.
mind, just let me know. If it's something, if we set it aside for you, just let me know, and let me know reasonably soon. When you, if you don't want it, then at point, then we'll put it back up in the rack.
I
How
want.
much is
Buy
the
the
hair?
candlestick for Elliot.
I'll take it off my character sheet then.
Oh, you bought it?
Uh-huh.
Oh,
I typed it in the chat because Elnie was talking.
oh, sorry, I didn't say.
All right, I'll take it off. You can have it.
No, it's fine if you bought it. It's fine. What's the firefly do?
It's just a component. Some spells or enchantments need to have. But it actually is like it's like a couple inches across there. It's big. It's like a big old firefly looking thing there. So, yeah. I mean, um, it's just it's not alive. It's just actually it's kind of a dried firefly in a jar kind of thing. Yeah. It's some people have different components for various potions or enchantments or whatever. Yeah. I don't know any specifically off the top of my head here, but it's one of those things that the people ask for or people bring in, and I mean we don't get many this size normally, so it can definitely be
Mm.
something used for enchantments or spell components.
How much is that hammer?
The hammer is like it would normally be about 12,000. For you, it would be 9,000, which I know is a lot.
It's not like I can't save up. I couldn't have that other sword. That was a really cool sword.
I mean, if you want, I can set it aside for you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
I can in fact lend money if you wish to purchase that item.
Lend money. Don't you need George for like ingredients and stuff?
Right. I was saying lend a small amount of money. I am in fact going to go ahead and pick up that spyglass.
Oh, perfect. Yeah. I think that'll be helpful on your journeys here. I know you guys are setting up your airship crew. They're probably wondering where you're at too.
Yes, that is actually our well, some of our next stop. We do need to speak with some other individuals, as we did take on a small contract to help out some people. Uh, and looking for people that were missing, we did accomplish that. However, it would behoove us to speak with those immediately following this. Yes,
Yes.
that was 400. That was 480, right? Yeah.
Yeah, for the spyglass.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. One thing you will notice, and kind of like exchanging money and picking things up there and talking with it, Torben has been quiet, as he has been for a bit now. It's sort of like you see, he's definitely smiling and looking around the shop and everything else. But he's been quiet for the time being. And essentially, once you guys are sort of like wrapping up your purchases and potentially getting ready to leave, um, I I need to talk to you all. I This is hard to say, but I think I'm gonna stay behind here in Port Oruss. I mean, I know what we're doing is good, and and we're doing important things, and we've done important things, and um, I just I don't really like who I've been. I think is the best way to well, I've been working with you. I mean, I you don't I don't like hurting things, but then I kind of do like I kind of did like hurting some of those, and it doesn't feel good. I don't like it, and I think I maybe the adventuring isn't for me. I can stay here and find things, and if you need things, um I can definitely um help you with finding things or finding out information sometime. You know how to reach me. I think I'll stay here.
Okay. I feel sure.
Are you sure?
Yes, I think I think it'd be best. I think I'm gonna go and spend some time at the temple too. I kind of want to see what's. I've been looking into stuff with the Raven Queen, and it
Mm-hmm.
would be nice to see that. Yeah.
Okay.
Uh,
Well,
but I want to make sure. And so I want to make sure that you have. You gave these to me, and I want to make sure that you have them if you want them. And he hands you back the songbird daggers. Like I have my bracer, and that's all I really need for what I do here. And this is, well, I like these. Um, they're yours. And so we kind of hold them out to somebody to take the daggers back there, the match bearers.
okay.
Eldon will walk up and take them.
I'll go
Um,
over and give him a hug.
Okay. Then he hugs you back there, and it's like I mean, like I said, I'm going to be here. I'm still going to work with Janan and be here in mostly in Port Oruss, and if you need anything, I'll be around.
All right. Well, it's been great having you with us, but I understand absolutely. Sometimes, it's difficult. It's not for everybody. So you take care of yourself, Torben, and keep in touch, yeah?
I will. Yes. And he kind of like, um, and I know, and the Ring of Spell story you already had because that was yeah. So you had already, because Sora, you had that in the last fight. So yeah, you'd
Mhm.
already kind of handed that off to you guys. So um, he did also believe he
spell
does actually hand you guys 2 superior healing potions as well, because he did buy those and didn't use them.
Who had the ring of spellstorm?
You did, I believe, didn't you?
Mm-mm.
I thought you used shield in one of the fights there from
I
the
thought you did. Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I did.
yeah.
Yeah.
Am I not attuned to it? Do I not need to not be attuned to it?
You doesn't need to be tuned to that because you cast spells from it. So that's okay. We can work it out there. If you're not, then
Mhm.
we'll see.
Mhm.
Um, but other than that, I think yeah, I think we'll be here. And so
Okay.
a bit he sort of slipped out the door and kind of waves one more time, and he's off in the streets there, and oh, he says, do you want me to check in with the syndicate and kind of like do
Oh,
the close there, to set up a meeting or anything like that before I
yes.
That
do some of
would
that
be
stuff?
helpful, actually. Yeah.
Yes.
Please.
I
If
can
you.
I can do that.
Yes. Indeed.
I'll they'll get a message to you soon. I'll just let them know you're back, that we're back, that you're back, and that we can they're ready to meet and talk. And yeah, I think that'll be. And I'll set up that meeting there and have them message you and contact you where to meet. And with that, he sort of to the door and just kind of takes off down the street there. And you see it a moment later, he's sort of like kind of standing at sort of a round. If you glance outside there, he's standing at one of the corners there, um, kind of making some sort of hand gestures and to somebody back in an alleyway somewhere down the road there. Um, and then there takes off down the road.
Okay.
End of an era.
Out. Just out of curiosity.
Okay. No worries. Okay.
Hmm.
What would you take for these daggers in possible
Oh,
trade?
I mean, uh, well, they're a little better than the Sun Forger, technically, but if you want this, I mean, the hammer and something else, I could do that.
Do we want to get the hammer and the thing that Lucas was saying about the amulet of health? Is that what it was?
I was just pointing that out that anyone could use it if they needed to. I mean, I don't want it really. Well, not really. I've already got my last slot.
Out
I
of
don't think
curiosity,
anyone's got a free slot.
yeah,
Mhm.
I think we're all. I think we're all.
Right, but
You
like
know,
we can unattune and reattune to things as we
Mhm.
see the situation starting to unfold. I mean, it does
Sure.
take what, a short rest to unattune to something?
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 Out of curiosity, that butcher's garb there.
She kind
What
of
is
wriggles her nose
its?
out. Oh,
I
that's the
know.
thing, isn't it? So essentially, once per turn, when you roll damage with a tech weapon, you can re-roll a damage dice. Must hit the second roll when you do. Your attack weapons that deal slashing damage that score a critical hit on a 19 or 20. So, but it always seems to be covered in blood. Even when you wash it off, it'll just sort of like seep the blood there. It doesn't drip constantly, but it does sort of like that. Yeah, it's kind of gross. Dark
Icky.
leather. Yeah,
But
but
out of
I mean,
curiosity, Lucas would then crit on a 19 and be able to re-roll damage
Well,
dice.
A rapier is piercing, so you do the slashing.
Oh, he has
so,
a rapier. I thought it was. I thought it was. Oh, I thought he had slashing.
Or using the slashing weapon. I forget. Well, granted, with Quicksilver, you can make whatever you want.
Right.
Use a short sword mainly. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Never mind on that one then. Shoot, what do you guys think? Amulet of Health would be cool. The figure, the golden lions, but that I don't know. Would you accept those and then the figures as well?
She sort of looks there, like, is she? You should do a little mental math in her head there. That, I think that'll be fine. You want the lions and the hammer.
What do we want the lions for?
Basically,
Sure.
they're figurines of wondrous power. They basically, you can, they will turn into a full size. Each one will turn into a full size lion for up to 1 hour. It can't be used. Each lion individually can't be used again for 7 days. But it turns into a full size lion for an hour.
Do you know the Driss novels?
The panther, yeah.
Yeah.
Those are the panther,
Mm-hmm.
except for lions.
It's really cool.
Mhm.
It's really cool.
It's really cool. Those are really cool items.
Yep. So essentially, you have 2 of them. Each one can turn into an hour. You can either or both. You can just have them come to life as full size lions, and then they would essentially after 1 hour they disappear and they can't be used for 7 days.
Yeah.
How much could we get for the daggers just as cash? So we could buy.
She did tell us the price before, didn't she, for the 2 daggers? I'm sure.
Yeah, but tell us how much they would sell for. But he gave us one of the daggers cheap, so it was a kind of.
Yeah.
Essentially, she'd say I would give you, I could give you 10,000 for them right now. Maybe a little bit more. We'll see. And she has to she looks through her books here. She's like, I could do 12,000 tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yep.
Wait, your time or ours?
We're all the same time now.
No, it's not.
I know, you're still like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah, you actually are a little bit. You're actually feeling kind of tired because to you, it's actually. I mean, it's definitely hours later. Now that you're back,
the jet
you
lag
lost
is
half
real.
a day.
The jet lag is so real.
Seemingly.
Yeah.
Yours or ours?
That'd be that's like 3,000 each that you can and take away and spend on whatever you want.
I am curious, however. I'm going to gesture towards Sora's mace to see what would happen if we added the enchant to that weapon. And the possible reactions in magic, as we have not attempted it before, I am wondering what would happen. I think it would be interesting, potentially catastrophic. However,
one thing you know about Sora's weapon, you haven't examined it closely, is that it has been developing powers almost on its own.
Yes.
You've seen it change there, so based on what's happening there, it may not do anything, it may not work, or it might do something bizarre.
Or it might do something really cool.
Or 2 Warhammers would be kind of fun too, like thunder and lightning and sunshine. Yeah, just like
right. Which is also a possibility, which would be very cool. As she has been training.
I'll give you the light and then put you into darkness.
The only trouble is once you've used
like
it for the fire, it's an action to bring it back to your hand, so you'd lose a turn.
And that's only if I throw it.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's still a +2 weapon, so yeah.
What I am wondering as to its growth that it has been experiencing, yes, is if possibly adding it would open a new growth path for the item itself. These are the thoughts that I am thinking, and I would be interested in.
I would just like, I would be fascinated to find that out there, but I don't know what it would do. And Dan was like, My dad could probably help, but I don't know. That sounds kind of dangerous to take like magic like that and try to make, but it could be fun too. And
You
kind of
see, like Eldon, like a big old smile on his face.
Alden laughs in the face of danger.
yeah, yep.
How
Yeah, but
interesting would it be? Yes.
But Sora's weapon is growing in power. If you combine it, it might stop growing in power.
Well, if
Just be
if it makes
fixed.
any sense, when I picked it up, originally it wasn't doing anything, and
it wasn't
now
even
that
magical when you first started adventuring.
yeah, it wasn't magical when I first started it, so I have no idea how it got to be how it is now.
And suddenly it was a +1 hammer, and then it's been growing ever since.
Maybe you can see what Nils thinks of it, and maybe you can shine some light, no pun intended, on it before you make that decision.
I mean, I wouldn't be opposed to having that put on hold until we get enough money to do it, and then we do have the favorite shield of the mind we could sell. There's a bunch of selling stuff that we can.
Sure,
Did we bring anything back from the Feywild that she might
We-
be interested in?
Didn't have a chance to
I-
grab anything because we were told to not touch.
Actually, I do, in fact, and I'm going to go. You see my whole arm go down in my bag of holding, and I'll pull out that scarf of. Scarf of. Crap! I had it written down. Sorry, 1 second.
Fire resistance.
Scarf of
wasn't it?
fire resistance. Yeah, scarf of fire
Yeah.
resistance. So fascinating story actually. This came from I'm gonna like launch into the whole thing.
Sure.
Eldon tells the story of the pumpkin,
the Scarecrow King,
and
yeah.
the pumpkins, and the like crazy battle that we've had with the crazy trees that were fighting us, ripping us around the whole battlefield. How I almost went down to a crazy tree that tried to spear me with his things, and how like it's gonna go on.
Yeah, I mean, Galen just like wide-eyed, just listening to the whole thing there, and just like looking, like smiling, and like wow, and then glancing over at Lucas, like staring daggers at Lucas, like.
I'll shrug.
Just exactly, she's like just gives a little nod of like, of course. Well,
Not like we went there on purpose.
I mean, that's definitely I mean, items that give resistance to elements is always good sellers, and so yeah, I could definitely trade or sell for that.
Yes. So, as to the quality of this item and the realm that it came from, would you accept equal trade then for the mace?
I thought we picked up that stick that he was using. That he had.
He's also it's also
Lucas has that. I only had the sash in my bag.
Yeah, the
I
little
had a
staff
pumpkin.
that forms the
Yeah.
I mean, definitely things from the Feywild are of interest too, and it says just a plain because you like there's a ring of cold resist there on the counter. Like, I mean, that's just a basic band there, but something that came from a strange Fey creature, then I mean that's definitely worth a bit more. I mean, I could trade that for the hammer, sure. I think I could make that work.
I'm a hugger. I'm gonna hug her.
Yeah. I
Well,
mean,
I don't know how big she is or how
oh,
little she is. She's just gonna get a big old hug.
I believe she's a human, so yeah, she's probably
Oh,
about
yeah.
5.5.
Oh, the poor little thing.
She got picked up and spun around.
Yeah, I mean,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, she's like about 5'6", maybe 5'8". I mean, she's
Oh, poor
again,
girl.
she's sort of like the goth Velma. I mean,
Oh, man.
she does have the god
Giant
spectacles on there.
dragonborn. Giant
Well,
dragon.
yeah, like okay, right, sure. I'll have to sell this up a bit here, but I can make this work, sure. And so yeah, she will trade the scarf for the hammer. So the Sunforger hammer.
Sunforger hammer, and I will go ahead and we shall be back tomorrow then to sell these daggers. Yes.
All right. In that case, what I'll do, I think you know what, I can definitely secure that by tomorrow because I'm with that now. I can notify some some buyers essentially, and just have the money ready to go.
What was this the stick? Because I haven't got it down on my sheet.
It was his
Let me.
sword. He pulled a
it-
blade out of it, didn't
Yeah, you pulled
Mhm.
it off the dude, and we didn't really talk about what it was
Yeah.
either.
No.
Yeah.
So effectively, what it was is this. It was kind of this crooked, like twisted piece of wood that when he activated it, it's like fiery blade sort of appeared. It was a scythe he was using.
Yeah.
And it was effectively a +1 scythe that added fire damage. So it's a two-handed weapon, but the blade is actually has fire damage, so it does 1d10 damage, and it adds 2d8 fire damage on a hit.
Oh shoot!
Why not?
You
Is
could
that
get,
useful
get
to
that
anyone?
thing put. I would say, well, you want to get that enchant put on your short sword, right? Your short sword doesn't have anything yet,
It
or
does.
does it have something?
Yeah, I mean it's
Yeah, it has a
Oh,
certain death one.
that's a
Transfer the certain
certain death
death.
one.
Yeah.
yep.
Darn.
I doubt you could transfer it anyway if it's a two-handed weapon. Short sword's only one-handed. I don't know how it works.
It'd be sort of making it a flame tongue in a way, but maybe a little less damage. So yeah.
Unless someone else can use it.
I
The thing
don't
about
use
the scythe
weapons.
too, important. It has a reach of 10 feet.
He's pushing real hard for us to get this
I'm
scythe deal.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just giving you the stats for it too. It as a reach weapon, does D10 slashing damage plus 2d8 fire damage, and it's a +1 weapon. So yeah, that's so yeah, just yeah. There's
That
definitely
looks like a
that.
real cool walking stick right now.
Yeah, it does. It's kind of this twisted gnarl. It's about 5 feet long or so. So it's almost like a walking staff.
I'm going to be over in the corner showing Danlon my new wand.
Oh yeah, he's gonna be fascinated with that. Like, oh, that's fairy make. Oh my god, that's. I mean, and so.
And it was a bow, and then it wasn't.
It
It's crazy.
used to. Well, I mean, they can do all kinds of things. I know that much. I mean, it's really weird what they can twist around things and such. So, yeah, I like it. So,
Me too.
anything else you want to do there?
I'm good.
No, we're fine.
We go and
Alright.
see the syndicate.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go.
Pretty much by the time you guys leave and are out on the street there, you'll see sort of a young, maybe 9, 10 years old or so, come running up to you and just say, "Oh." It's like
Huh?
hands out this little piece of paper for you.
Who's he handing it to?
Has it got jam on it?
Nope. It is just a piece of parchment there, folded up there.
All kinds of jam and honey.
He's probably. I mean, looking at it, he's a little bit grubby. His face is a little bit dirty, a little bit smudged with, but not like filthy. But he's like a kid who's been running around doing stuff. He's like, "Here you go," and pretty much as you take it there, he like just runs off.
Thanks, Kev.
Thanks. Bye,
Go on,
kid.
face.
And so effectively, it asked you to meet at the Nighthawk Cafe.
Awesome.
Oh, I've not been there. What do they have for drinks there? They better have milk.
They've got milk, I'm sure. You'll be fine.
Yep.
While we're walking, Eldon's gonna pull out a new scrap piece of paper and start writing a book.
Sure.
Of the adventures of Tales in the wild Feylands.
Excellent.
I guess we're ales now.
Yeah, technically.
Yeah.
Yep. So the Nighthawk is kind of tucked off the main drag there. It's sort of down not all the way down in the area where you kind of first met Linstra. Actually, the first run in with the syndicate here in town. There, it's actually more kind of up in this area over here, not too far from where the forge is. It's just down kind of the winding street over here. And again, the Nighthawk Cafe is very much like the old style painting of the cafe with the big open window across the way. It's almost like a diner kind of setting. You actually did meet up with one of Trevor's contacts here, a ways back there, and upon entering there, you sort of again from the time you were here before, it is definitely a place where everyone is a little bit too alert, and a little bit. I mean, they're obviously very focused on you. While they do a good job of going about their business and not, but you just catch the glances. You just kind of hit that almost a feeling that they're watching you. They're keeping tabs on you, and it's fairly clear to you all that this is a place run by the syndicate.
Does Amethyst catch any voices when she walks in?
Specifically to you.
No, just accidentally listening in on things.
I mean, you can give me a perception check to see what you pick up on.
$21.
Nice. There's definitely sort of like sort of that alert thing. Venture types gotta watch out. You never know what they can do. And then kind of another kind of that sort of like thinking this up there, and there's a sort of like almost like a, well, I'm not gonna fight, but I know how to get out of here if something bad happens. And another one sort of like, oh, these are the ones. They're kind of a big deal, aren't they? Yeah. Okay. Well, I could take one of them. I'm sure I could take one of them. Kind of guy. Actually, you kind of look around and you realize it's probably the cook is looking out through the little window in the back there. Like, I could take one of them. Yeah. Not all four.
I wouldn't recommend it.
Sure. You actually say something back there?
Yeah.
Okay. He just like pauses and goes, yeah, narrows his eyes and pulls a ticket off, pulls a little ticket off the little rotating thing there, and like goes back to the next thing to start cooking something.
I'll blow him a kiss.
He's already turned away at that point. But there is sort of a little chuckle. And
I would have done that while he was scowling at me, obviously.
Sure. I mean, it was a pretty quick exchange there. It was like just sort of like pulls out there. But there's a little bit of a chuckle as the exchange there, and sort of like someone's at least paying attention to the exchange a little bit there, and you will see the dark-haired, kind of leather clad woman you met twice a couple of times before here, Linstra, is sitting at a booth, kind of almost like leather high-backed booth type seats there, like. Well. I heard you guys were getting involved with some stuff here. Come on over. Have a seat. I recommend the chocolate shakes. They're really, really good. Coffee's not bad. Kind of shit. This time of day it should be pretty fresh. They always make a.
In it.
And so, oh, he better not. That's the kind of thing that would get someone in big trouble here, especially with someone. I mean, let's just say, I know a bit about what's been going on with you guys here. I do stay informed. Master Schultz has kind of delivered his reports, and they've been cycling around the higher ups and such. So, I know you've been doing some pretty big work. So,
indeed.
And I understand that you have some information about. Yeah, the our issues to the north, let's just say, the missing agents and such.
It's not good news, I'm afraid.
It usually isn't in these situations, though. But news is news. We need to know.
So hold on. How does she know that we've dealt with them when we're back in the past?
We're not in the past, are we? We're just not.
I mean, it's a matter of hours in the past. So it's like essentially the fact that you're back and I knew you were going to go and investigate.
Yeah, we're not.
It's not days. It's a matter of number of hours. So
yeah,
essentially, yeah.
So they just think that we did it really, really quickly. Okay.
Yeah, or you did because you talked to them a number of days ago. So it wasn't even like you could have gone up and checked it out at any point in the last few days. And so
that is true.
Yeah,
that is true.
Yeah,
okay.
We went and handled the whole find a couple of the ship guys. Mm-hmm. We did a whole bunch of other stuff.
So, timey-wimey things, Jim. Timey-wimey things.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I'm
It
just
does mess with your head, doesn't it? Yep.
super happy we didn't come back like 15 years in the future or 1,000 years in the past.
Well, we did specifically say, didn't we, that we wanted to come back to our time and place. So, you know.
And you and Eldon, you sort of were thinking about it because
as I'm writing down the notes of
the fact is, you realize you probably could have come back further.
Oh, dude, you see, like my pen like stopped for a second.
Yeah, like,
And, like
wait. If shifting through the Everwood actually did move you in time by returning from someplace else in the Everwood, you might have actually come back months before. Or you could come back
And
by
you
shifting
should
forward
still be-
into closer toward, so you can actually move. So think of it as your entry point is here. If you shift this far or this far and then come back, you've moved in time.
oh yeah.
we
Then
could
like
have
I
come
go
back
back into writing hard.
And that's
The
why it wasn't
guy-
quite
I'll be right back.
precise. Because even a step or two in the wrong direction is a matter of maybe hours, which in this case was
I'll be right back.
And
you got very, very close.
because where we were in the Sealy Fae place, weren't we? And then she
Yep.
took us over into the Unseelie. Is that right?
You were in the Unseelie. You entered into the
Unseelie, and then
Unseelie.
she took us to
Actually,
the
you were
Sealy.
more entered into the wild areas. You weren't really in the Unseelie courts at that point or anything. It was just a wild areas of the Feywild, which is sort of a swamp area, sort of dark nastiness, whatever. So then you were brought into specifically the Everwood, which, as she had pointed out, there was sort of almost like a neutral ground for the the summer, winter, and autumn and spring courts.
Well, it's lucky in a way that we didn't come back in with months of difference one way or the other.
You realize that she was very specific in your request. She could have brought you back to the time and place she met you.
Yeah, she could have.
But she brought you back to the place and very close to the time.
Yeah.
And then that guy would still be around.
Potentially.
Well, that didn't happen anyway. So.
Yeah, that's where you're like, wait a minute. What would happen if we came back then and we see ourselves?
And then Race would have still been alive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could have gone down there and waited for him.
That's true. We could have just hidden in the observatory and waited for him to turn up.
We knew where every step of where he was. Well, almost. From the time that we decided he needed to not be a thing to the time that he wasn't a thing.
I prefer the idea that he's already dead, though, like that. Not having him again. I that's the best thing.
Yes.
Yeah. Well, you also something you don't in thinking this through at least a little bit there, you have no idea what the cost would be.
Yeah, indeed.
Like that could have a very heavy cost because of the ramifications of what could be done with that. So the costs toward doing that might be much, much higher.
And again, if it was something that we planned to do, it might have been different, but we had no idea that we're going to end up in the Feywild. So, you know, we're lucky really that it ended the way that it did.
One thing I will point out there is that wand will count as an anchor if you ever need to plane shift to the Feywild.
Awesome. Because
it is of the Feywild. So if you ever, when plane shift magic comes up there, it could be used. And yeah, so, and that sort of thought leads to wait a minute. You have something that also came from the elemental plane of fire as well now.
Mm-hmm.
You've got a bag, you've got some gems, and you got a box that all originated from the plane of fire.
We do have a plane of fire.
So
I don't want to go there though. So can we
I don't
not?
blame you. I'm just saying, it's the option is like it's like, oh wait, we have that too. So yeah.
It also might come in handy if we accidentally get trapped there and have to get back.
Lucas is like, yeah, maybe. No, we're not going.
That could be a
Yes,
fun
I was
place. I
planning
mean,
on learning Flame
that
Shepherd.
that is where genies and everything else are from. And that's why you met one.
Is that all we need then? Something from the plane. So if we were in
Yeah.
a different plane and we need to get back to here,
Mhm.
we've got
Yeah.
backpacks full of stuff.
You have your stuff. Yeah, you can always kind of travel back to your plane of origin because you are from there. But to travel to some other plane, you would need some sort of focus, some sort of anchor, something that's from that plane. And so now, just the bag that was left behind there, the Fire Strider bag, that right there is could be considered a focus to get back to the elemental plane of fire.
Yes, that's what you missed, Eldon. We can get to the elemental plane of fire because the bag that I'm carrying from the dragon that was left over.
Mm-hmm.
Very cool. Okay.
Yep.
Cool.
So you
We're not
now
plane
have,
hopping, y'all.
you now
Let's
have
No.
a focus for
No.
you now have a focus for 2 planes. Yes.
My wand that the Pixie Queen made for me out of the bow that I had, that it can also be used as an anchor to get.
Oh
to get
my
into
gosh,
the
we have
Feywild
3 plane
before you
anchors.
go back.
Yep. So, with that in mind, so Linstra essentially says she's there. So, what do you have to report? You said according to the message that we got there that you had some information about what happened.
Indeed. We also have some suspicions and some concerns. But as I said, the news is not good. There was an area outside of the mansion where things didn't look quite right, and it turned out to be some sort of illusion. And it was basically an open garden full of snakes. There was a huge snaky dude. And lots of what are they called? Stupid snaky people.
Yanti.
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 Amethyst,
bunch of
they
them
were
there.
called Yanti, which
Yeah,
is
that was it.
actually snake. Very evil beings. Yes.
We actually ended up being tricked into landing ourselves in the Feywild, and it took us a little bit of time to come back. Obviously, I think time hasn't passed here quite as quickly as it did there, so we were there for a lot longer than it seems like we were gone for. But
So the people that were working are listening because they're
They don't have to. They can move on.
they work here.
I don't care. They can move on.
They're paying attention because they're also employees of the syndicate. So effectively, yep.
Basically,
You're in their home turf. You're in their home turf. Yeah.
yeah,
You can move on.
people you sent to look at the place are no more. They were killed by the Yonti.
probably used as snake.
Actually, yes, I think that one of them was actually eaten, possibly alive, as that is their wont.
Right. Okay.
But
Well, I'll leave that out of our report. I don't think anyone. I mean, they may have friends and family and such.
Families and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. Although typically, I mean, that's sort of a long-term assignment there, but the short-term ones there, we'll let them know that they're
My
no longer.
concern is the caretaker that was there. Obviously, clearly, he's a very seems like a very magical being. He clearly knew what was going on there and was happy with the whole illusion thing, hiding all of the evil creatures that were there and the portal to the Feywild. I don't know anything about the Duchess, but I don't know if she knows what's going on there or if she needs to be told or if she's in on it or whatever. But obviously, that is a concern.
At that point, for the first time, you see Linstra actually worried. Like when you start talking about the Duchess, she's like it's sort of like, oh no. She's sort of like, we're not gonna go there. Yeah, that's something we don't want to turn over that rock. No.
I feel like that is actually closer to a mountain than a rock. Yes.
Indeed.
I
mean,
actually hypothesize that the caretaker is in fact a Fey Lord. Yes.
I have no idea. I'm just saying if that's involved, we don't want to go anywhere near that. In fact, we'll just go ahead and I'll amend our surveillance right now to not go anywhere near the actual grounds. We'll maybe watch from a distance if we want to just keep tabs on people coming and going, but we won't send anyone in there if that's sort of thing we're dealing with inside.
But can we keep an eye out at least on people being lured there or whatever? Because we don't really know what's going on, or
Well,
we obviously
yeah, I mean, we'll put a warning out to our folks to not go anywhere near the grounds, and just if you're going to any surveillance will be from a distance and not getting close to that whole thing. Because I mean, we always keep tabs on a lot of the estates. We have people that watch the keep. We have people that watch government buildings around the place, and some people are in. I mean, we have ways of keeping tabs on things for the most part there. But if that's something there, we will stay clear of that. I mean, it was more that we've had a man on the inside there. He was the gardener. I mean, he's been there for years, and so when reports suddenly stopped, we sent an agent, and then that agent went and never came back, and the next agent never came back, and so we stopped at that point. So, I mean, the fact is, we didn't want we mostly just needed to know what happened and the nature of it, and now that we know the nature of it, we aren't going anywhere near that anymore.
Yeah, and we obviously, I mean, we killed a Cora, we killed a lot of the Yonti that were there. There were a few snakes dotted about still, I think, but we obviously, I don't know
Sword killed
how many actually got away. We know at least one Yonti, I think, got away, and obviously
Dragonborn.
Oh, Dragonborn, yeah, that was it.
Check
There was a Dragonborn there that got away, and also obviously the caretaker was there around there somewhere. But I
You
don't.
only saw him
Yeah,
inside
yeah.
the house. You didn't see him anywhere else in the house.
Yeah, but we knew that there was another magic user out there somewhere that we didn't actually kill. So my guess would be that it was either him or a Yonti that got away. So that's why I said that at least one creature, or possibly the caretaker, got away. I don't think I would have liked to have messed with him anyway, because he seems very, very powerful.
It was once seeing him in the Feywild, it was like that was definitely an eye-opening experience, and so
yeah. And I'll obviously mention that as well, that he was also there. So
I'm just now getting to that part in my book of our initial getting there.
Just scribbling furiously. Probably all in gnomish shorthand too, just like why you're so fast at it.
Yep.
Well, I gotta say, thank you for the information. Thanks for dealing with at least part of the problem. I mean, there's some sort of snake creatures living there that we don't want that. Whatever the situation there is, we'll just kind of call it resolved and leave it at that. Okay. Well, there's a matter of settling up with you all here. Let's see. Sora, let me ask you this. It's been a few weeks, more like a month or two. Did you had you or anyone else in the group here put forth anything about them leaving Strega alone?
not yet.
You hadn't yet. Okay, I want to make sure.
No, we were going
sure
to talk to them about that. Yeah.
Something that we were going to suggest is, can we talk to somebody tomorrow? But I can probably just send her a sending and say, hey, can we have a chat with you again?
I wanted to talk to during our downtime, and we didn't get to do it. To talk to Strega first, and we didn't get to do that.
Yeah, I mean, okay. So so you talked. So you did talk to them at one point during your downtime, because that's when he told you about the problem that he's having with the syndicate. So since then you haven't had a chance to talk to him. So because you went and did this stuff beforehand.
We talked to Strega about the issues that he was having with the syndicate, I think 2 sessions ago, but we did it in game. And then while we were off last week, I decided that I needed to go back and talk to him and get some further information.
Right. But like I said, we picking up like from the time of walking through out of the Feywild into Mystic Menagerie. So, That's where we picked up today. So
Mhm.
yes, you definitely can go talk to him at this point. So, but you haven't. But based on what you guys did today, you didn't have a chance. So,
Right. Yeah.
yeah. I mean, Evidence, you definitely absolutely could do ascending to Linstra and touch back there. So,
And
so
I will actually say to you before we leave, like I do want to have another word with you tomorrow, but I'll be in touch.
okay. Well, I know, and she sort of like just smiles. I know you have you're working on getting an airship crew. That's word's already kind of gotten around about that. I do know that Master Schulich there helped you secure the paperwork and everything else, which is amazing for what you guys did. The Northern Syndicate there doesn't really want to be outdone, so we're going to help you out a little bit too. We have a third party associate. They're not a member of the syndicate, but we do have dealings with them that might be very, very useful for you. They sort of act as a quartermaster, but in a very unique way. I Where our reports are, the ship's not very large, so this person is very, very good at getting the goods you need without taking up very much space. So,
That's good.
if you're interested, I can arrange a meetup, and we will help you secure his services if that's
Sounds good.
agreeable to you.
Yes, we are indeed in the look for a. Yes, that would be good. Of course.
Okay. Okay. Well, tell you what. We will make the arrangements here, and we can call it sometime this evening. We can get a little meeting set up with him and get all those arrangements made. Till then, and yes, if you want to talk tomorrow about anything, talk in the future about anything else, there, I'm sure you can find a way to get in touch with me, and we'll make those arrangements however you need. So, is there anything else, or are we all good for now?
No,
Yeah.
I think. Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying this out loud, but didn't we want to know what their problem with Strega was?
Yeah, but
I was going to get that
Dora wants to
information
talk to
from
Strega
Strega.
first.
Hmm.
Yeah, but Strega already told us the problem was that he was smuggling something they didn't like.
Yeah.
They didn't give him much
Dragons.
information.
He's
Mhm.
smuggling dragons. Or
Yeah.
dragon.
Well, there's that.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like,
Did they actually know though what he's smuggling?
Yeah, we don't know what the actual problem the syndicate has with him.
Might be worth asking Sora
Yeah.
to get
So-
their input on what their problem is with him before we go and talk to him. Might be useful.
as we're standing there talking in our heads about this.
I mean,
Yeah.
I would also you had to come here to meet up with them, so you had time to discuss this on the way there. We'll
Okay.
flash back to the walk here, because you had to kind of walk. It took about 10-15 minutes to walk here, so we'll flash back to you talking about this on the way.
Yeah.
So yeah, if you want to have said that, yeah.
I mean, we're not asking any favors. We're just asking what the problem is and seeing what they say.
we could, but then that would indicate that right now we don't know if they know that we have any connection to Strega.
Oh, they know your
Of
they know
course
your
they
sibling.
Sure, they do.
Of course they do. They,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't
Really
take
information
like you have the
Not the
same
same
last
surname.
name. He's not hiding his last name, so there aren't many blue dragonkin around that have the same last name. It doesn't take a genius to put two and two together here and get the right amount. So, is it? I mean, it's not like it's like they don't know that what sort of connection you have beyond probably a family connection, but I mean, they're aware that you're connected at least in some way.
if it helps, I could ask her. Just ask her if you want me to. Or is it a conversation that you want to have? I don't know.
I mean, I'm going to have the conversation with my brother either way, but
Mhm.
I guess knowing exactly what it is they're having an issue with.
Yeah,
Would
because I
help
mean, we
steer their
obviously
direction.
we know part of what is going on with it. Well, we know
Right.
what he's moving. But were they to drop a bombshell and say, well, he's also doing this,
Yeah.
that might be something that we need to know to talk to him about, because we
Yeah.
don't
So
actually
to
know.
clarify, he did mention it before. He is smuggling goods beyond people. It's sort of
Yes.
using it as a cover in a
Right.
way. So
Yes.
you didn't press too much for details about it or anything else beyond just sort of the general things like that. But yeah, so you don't know what their beef is exactly or what's going on. But I
Right.
mean, you definitely could.
That's what
Yeah.
we kind of. Yeah. Let's try and get that information, and then also it'll give me a chance to see if he'll tell me the truth or not.
Okay.
Like,
All
how
right.
far does he trust me? Because I mean, obviously he won't tell me where mom is.
Okay.
Says for my own good.
Also for her own good.
Own good. Yeah.
He's protecting her as well.
In
Yeah.
her, yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So,
There's a fewer people that know.
so yeah, I want to ask Lindstrom about it.
Okay.
So how do you want to word it? that's about it. That's the tricky one there. So
Yeah,
what are you
that's the
asking?
wording. So I heard through the grapevine that you're having issues with the Strega company. That's what they're called, right? Yeah.
And she won't like give any kind of a slide. She'll just kind of nod.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and oh, go continue. She sort of nods. Yes.
I would like to kind of smooth that over if we could
Oh,
help it along. I just don't know what the issue is to help with.
I can speak somewhat to that. I don't have all of the details. As it is not my purview to investigate those sorts of things here, but I do have some knowledge of the situation. Um, it's simply the fact that this independent organization, your the Strega Court Strega Trading Company, we do know is operating in some way of smuggling goods in and out of the city. And while most of those operations are under our direct control, we do have some people we have agreements with that may operate a little more independence, whereas this company in particular has no such agreement. There are certain um, allowances, there are certain payments, we'll just say that. There are certain reporting requirements so that we can be assured that these operations are not going to cause any significant trouble. One thing the syndicate we do is we ensure that things don't go bad um, in certain situations. So if they're smuggling certain dangerous items into the city, we either need to be aware of that to regulate it and monitor it, or to stop it from happening altogether. So effectively, if he's willing to at least have an agent, a contact person, you say, to work with him and keep things on the level, then that's fine. If we don't need access to ledgers and materials. It's more just uh, an agreement to be made. If he's willing to do that, then we can overlook most of what he's doing,
Most.
or maybe even all. We don't know. Maybe so we don't know. We don't know exactly what we don't know. We don't know, and so that's where conflicts can arise. So if he's willing to um, a little more transparency, at least with us, then we can move forward with an agreement that's going to prevent any conflict or um, issues with anyone.
When you talk about payment, what sort of payment are we talking about?
I mean, typically it's a small percentage. I mean, it's sort of essentially one thing that we do is we ensure that word doesn't reach the authorities and auditors and inspectors and such. And while independent organizations can do that, we have ways of doing it much more effectively that's much more reliable. So, for that matter, we want to make sure that any operations that we are aware of don't draw too much attention. So that's sort of what one of the things the syndicate does. We tend to smooth things over and to essentially prevent conflicts from arising, not only with us, but with the city authorities as well. We have connections, obviously, and so we can assist in ways that other organizations cannot. We can offer protections that someone would not have, by operating independently.
Right.
I understand. It's a lot to take in, and I assume that you're not involved in any sort of the operations directly. So, I know that there is a connection, and she sort of does look at you flatly there, Sora, just sort of like, I know there's a connection, um, and it's understandable that we want to make sure that everyone is if there are no hostilities or other interference. So, we'd be happy to work things out. If you wish to act as a go-between, if you wish to let the interested parties work it out, that's fine as well. I can assure you that there is no current uh, interventions being planned.
Okay. I need to go talk to him.
Really difficult situation, isn't it? Because he doesn't want anybody to know what he's actually doing, and they want somebody on the inside.
Mm-hmm. And
So
he's never going to go for
that's
that.
not going to be something, no,
Mm-mm.
Yeah,
because that
they
is
just
putting
want-
the whole thing at risk.
Well, and that's to be clear. I mean, she doesn't necessarily have somebody on the inside, just a little more transparency to the fact that hey, what's happening here? And again, it's just a matter of like what can they help overlook themselves, and what they can force the city to overlook. The fact that he's been
Okay.
able to do this without their help is pretty impressive.
Yeah. So if he pays them money, they'll back off.
It's hush money, is what he's
And
paying them.
and assist.
and
Not just hush money, but protection money. Should the authorities find out about it, they can be the ones who deal with it, and obviously then that
This is why
would
Sora
be
doesn't.
beneficial to him.
Why Sora doesn't deal with syndicate people. It's so help
Well,
me help you by paying me to help you, and
Yeah, but
Nope.
your brother's already paying someone.
your brother is
Turn the
yes,
other
he
way.
is.
That's what he wouldn't be able to do what he's doing.
And I mean, there could be benefits to him doing this, as in getting additional help from a massive organization that's got their hand in freaking everything. They
right.
are trying
But
to get
if
his hands
he,
into his hands. Like, I mean, it's
but
there's
he won't
benefits for him
even
doing it.
if he won't even tell me how it's happening,
Yeah.
where he's going, how he's getting it out, all that good stuff, which is what they're going to ask. There's no way he's going to tell them.
I don't think they do want to know that. I think that they just
More transparency is the word I heard, which
yeah.
means
The word
again,
transparency is
more, not full. Like so, right now they have none. Is the problem? Other than
Hold on.
hey, something's not adding up here. We know something's gone. We have no idea what's happening. No idea what's going on. So the idea that the organization in charge of smuggling within the city is being a smuggler operating in a way that they can't tell what's happening.
Yeah.
Eldon will close his book.
Sure.
Thank you for your time.
Of course.
Yes, we shall speak with you later. Have a good day.
Hope I can read that sometime. Kind of like smiles at you.
Oh, It is, in fact, going to be fascinating. I am
I
so
know.
excited. I may, in fact, publish this works. It is going to be the wondrous trails of tales through the Feywild. I'm very excited. It
Very
may
nice.
be a couple of hundred pages, but
I'm
it
sure.
will be fun.
Okay. Well, I cannot wait. So, again, if we let me know when you do talk. I'm available. And this evening we'll have arrangement to meet up with our quartermaster. Not ours, but one that we use.
Great. Thank you very much.
Of course. So, you guys are able to head on out. That no one bothers you, costs you, or anything like that. I mean, like I said, you will. It's fairly obvious in here that everybody, because there are no other customers at the moment while you're here. There are people sitting at some booths, but you realize they're just sort of nursing a drink and they're obviously listening in. It's not. It's all very clear that everyone here is syndicate
Hmm.
in some fashion or other. So
I'm still
yeah.
going to blow the coca kiss on the way out.
Just sort of like, kind of like gives a confused look of like drugs and like put the plate of food up on the counter there, and rings a little bell, ding.
Super dirty look on the way out.
Nope. Like the drugs. Yep. So, yeah, you're able to head back outside. No one's really accosting you. At this point, it's probably like trying to get probably around 2 o'clock, maybe 3 o'clock. So again, yeah.
Eldon will like
This
take
is about the
off.
time you left to go.
Eldon's gonna like take his goggles and put them on top of his head and like rub his eyes, like his palms, and take a big old yawn. Well, out of curiosity, do we go to your brother now, or can we please go and take a nap?
Nap is fine.
Definitely like to nap.
Okay. No problem. You guys are able to go and get in at least effectively a short rest. You wouldn't make a full on long rest at this point, but at least a short rest to kind of stave off the tiredness and everything. Because you haven't had a chance to really even do that.
And I wanted to do that on the boat. I wanted to go.
Oh, you want to go back to the ship?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So you guys make your way through the city, head on back up to where the ship is docked, way up north of the shipyards here. It takes a good half hour or so to get all the way through the streets there and back up there. So it's probably pushing around a little after 3 o'clock when you get up there and approach. And everyone's like, you realize like they see the approach there, and you realize that like, wait a minute. It's been for them, maybe an hour since you left. So, and you left going north before, so you're coming back in the city again. So you're like, huh, well,
we're nothing if not efficient.
Yeah. So you'll see on the deck of the ship there, we'll have Ale and Starosh, the pilot and captain there, talking things over. You don't see anybody else at the moment on the deck there. Although actually, take that back. When you do approach there is one other person who's talking with them. So when you don't recognize, and on the lower deck, who's sort of like inspecting things and looking around there, you would see the first mate, Amir. It's sort of like just kind of like looking around and just checking things over, checking some rigging, checking the ship. Obviously just checking the railings, making sure they're sturdy. Just all the things you would just kind of like just double check before any kind of a voyage. Starosh and Ale are there talking to a human-looking person. Kind of a cream-colored white shirt there, dark skin, kind of a cream, almost cream-colored bandana off the top on there. And as you approach there, the captain's actually probably Ale would be the first one to notice you, and just like, here, hey, come on aboard. And the restaurant kind of looks like, yes, of course. Please, come aboard here. And if you get another crew member potentially here, so good to see you all. Come on up, and gets able to head up on deck there, and um, the third person there turns to you, and Amir sort of like waves you on there. Good to have you. Good to have you back. Appreciate you. It's good to see you. And the third one. Well, look at here. All you people are just very, very interesting, aren't you? And it's sort of kind of dark. It's very tanned olive skin. He's wearing very kind of the swashbuckler style boots of some kind there, and a red sort of sash, like almost like worn like sort of like a belt, a red belt. A lot of jewelry, rings, earrings, the whole thing here. Let me pull up a better picture for you. Let me just because I have a pin to show, but I want to show the whole picture. So let me pull it up real fast. It's in the wrong place. There we are. Get the one moment. I realized I did not have the full-size picture for you to look at. Where you are? Just a moment. Yep. Just what am I missing here? Okay. Not quite. Not quite. Where are you, man? There you are. Boop. What you see is this individual.
Nice.
Cool.
Well. I appreciate the. I understand these the ship's owners, right? Very good. Haha. And he's sort of like this the up and down, head to toe, just like appraisal of each one of you, just like very exotic and very interesting eclectic mix here, almost as much as the crew. Well, Manuel de Havre, the top man, in more ways than one. He gives you sort of this little look. Okay. Not sure how to make that visible up there. Let me see. Is that showing up there? Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Yep. There we go.
Down.
There he is.
There we
All right. There we go. See. Cool. So, expert in the riggings, expert in dealing with he pats a little actually coil of rope on his belt there. Just like I am expert in keeping all things in the air, on the sea, ensuring that all of the health and well-being of our sails and riggings and such is my personal responsibility. And as I understand it, you don't have anyone in this position yet. So I would like to humbly offer my services.
Have you plenty of experience?
Yes, of course. I have served on a number of airships, a number of naval vessels for the years. In the time I was barely able to climb a rigging myself. I grew up on the sea, and then took to the air when I could. I have spent many a time in. I have spent more time in the rigging than I do on the ground normally. When I'm not in the riggings, I'm usually in the bed. One has to get the rest and the
Oh,
recreation, of course.
And recreation, of course.
Do you get all your recreation in bed?
Of course not. Wouldn't you like to know?
Ooh.
I apologize. Yes, I am definitely looking for work. I am between positions at the moment there, and I wish to make sure that I find myself wanting to try new experiences. The idea of a vessel with adventurers as crew and such will be many exotic locales and potentially maybe dangerous situations and such. But it is always a good story to tell. So I wish to make sure that I find new and exciting places to play my trade.
Out of curiosity, as you did just explain, that your work on obviously water and air. However, have you um, had much experience in combat? As we are an adventuring crew and do have
Course.
the potential
I
to
tend to
get.
avoid that if I can. I would find myself be more in the way of that, but I am not afraid to trade the fisticuffs if I need to, and effectively help keep things off the deck of the ship if possible. But if something dangerous comes along, I would make sure to evacuate and stay out of the way. But I am not a stranger to altercations of various kinds. One thing, Eldon, you do kind of catch the fact that he does have some magical gear on him.
Yeah.
The rope is magical, and at least one of the rings is definitely magical that he's wearing.
Sweet.
So
Should I find that rope from Alindra?
it's without to what kind of magic it is, but being able to identify there, you wouldn't really know.
I mean, I don't want to poke around someone else's
It's fine.
stuff.
I mean, yeah,
Why?
enough that you can kind of get the idea there. Anything else you don't there's anything that's strongly magical if it be minor, but these are fairly decently magical auras that you're picking up on. You're being attuned to it as you are.
If the captain's happy, then I'm sure, unless anyone has any objections.
It is important to have someone who is good with the riggings and
Yeah.
can keep things there. So I'm happy to have someone who has experience, and obviously we all have our skills to bring to the table. So I think that yes, Manuel, I think will be a valuable addition to the crew.
Well, I'm happy if everyone else is happy.
Yeah. All right. So
Yeah.
very good. Appreciate it. And Ails is like, all right, I can't wait to see this guy. Like, yeah, he was before you got here. He was showing us a little bit of his skills there. You want to see? Yeah.
Yeah.
Eh?
Yeah.
And Manuel's sort of like, all right, all right. And he basically pulls the rope out and throws it like just over toward the main mast, and it sort of uncoils and latches on, and he just kind of holds it and just basically says something under his breath there, and the rope starts to retract, pulling him up and toward into the rigging. He'll then kind of put it there in a loop, and then he will jump from the first level of the rigging to the top level of the rigging.
Wow.
As you realize he's holding a rope of climbing and a ring of jumping.
That's awesome.
So effectively, he just leaps from the lowest level to the top level, just grabs on one hand there, pulls himself up there, and just sort of like walks balancing across the top of the ropes there, checking the sails, grabs the top post there, jumps from one sail to the next, and catches onto the ropes there, and pulls himself up there, like walking across the rigging, kind of drops down. He's just like walking across the tops of the sails, essentially, just checking them all up, Captain. You didn't spit this one here, did you? There's a grommet here that's coming loose, and so he'll take it out there, just sort of like, you want to have your engineer person there with the mending skills and such come up there and reinforce this one right here. It will come loose in the heavy wind. He's like, we're on it. Great. He kind of looks at you and says, see?
That's awesome. Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Very good, very good. And so he drops back down on the deck there and kind of gives a bow to the first mate there, Amir, who's at the point kind of looking up there and seems to drop down there and says, guy just gives an appreciative nod and goes about his business. Captain, I'm going to head below decks. Very good, very good. And he drops down, he goes down underneath there, and A moment later, while you're kind of milling about here, you'll see your navigator there. Little Hogarth will step out there, and he's holding a big stick, a very straight staff. It has a little bit of like leaves and stuff, like almost stuck to it there. And say, Captain, I found this kind of tucked back in the near the navigator's area there. So, what do you think of this thing here? And amethyst. It's been missing for a while, but you realize you're looking at is Addie's Staff of the Woodlands. It has been gone there.
For Alia.
Yeah, I mean, it seems it's too big for me, obviously. Oh, hey, you're here. That's great. Yeah. And the cat there, Bert, there kind of like comes padding up behind him there, kind of rubbing against the back of his legs, and as
Bert.
kind of looks up at you and kind of gives it almost sort of a nod looking thing there, just like, and just sort of kind of goes about there and hops up on deck and goes kind of wandering around the upper deck there. Yeah, so you're back. Any of you recognize this thing here? Holding the staff out there.
Yeah, it belonged to a friend of ours.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
It seemed like it got kind of stuck to the side there somewhere. I was kind of tucked back behind one of the tables in the navigation area there. So here you go. And he holds it out to you, Amethyst, since you said you knew what it was.
Thank you.
Of course. Captain, I got the maps all organized here. I think they're all secured, and so I think we're pretty much, at least in that aspect, I think we're pretty ready to go. If we need to go anywhere, Captain's like, I think we're getting very close, and now that you're back, like, wait a minute, you're back, and he kind of looks up at the sun there. That was a very quick trip there, wasn't it?
Actually, in fact, it was not a quick trip. I'm gonna then start explaining.
Sure.
Like,
at some point, you're about a little ways to the tail there, and you can't hear a tap on your shoulder, and at that point, you see that Audrey's arrived, and it's like, hey, wrap it up. Too long.
Yes.
Condense.
Yes. Yes. So, anyway, that is, in fact, what happened. A fond adventure. I am going to write a short tale about it, but I won't bother you. Thank you. Yes.
She's sort of like, good to have you back. And she goes off there. It's like, I was told I needed to do something with the... And Manuel's like, up here, come on. And he's like, so he actually drops the rope down there. Take the bottom. And she like, goes over, holds the bottom there, and just the rope coils up and pulls her up there. He's pointing to where the little like the loose grommet was on the sail. Like, right here, this one right here. Oh, that I can see. Okay, right. And she's a little bit like she's like obviously balancing well, but she's kind of looking down at the ground there and basically goes there, casts the mending cantrip there, and fixes the area and. Very good. If I anything else, I'll let you know. And she like gives her this big smile, and she's just sort of like, okay, sure. Can you let me down now? And lowers the rope, and she like goes back down to the deck. Great to have you back. Kind of. I got some more. I'm still working on that secondary array there, Captain. We should be good to go. Give me another few hours at least. No rush. It's all right. Make sure it's all done well.
Amethyst's going to be sitting on the floor, petting Bert, and looking like she's probably having a conversation with her head while she's having a bit of a chat with Elia.
Okay.
Maybe a little bit of a discreet wipe away of tears.
Sure.
I'm going to go to the workshop and fall asleep.
Okay. Not a problem.
How far to the north of where we are it was the estate?
It was a few hours. So yeah, it took about 2 hours or so to ride all the way up there, based up with the horses and such. So The fact is, like, so now you realize, kind of piecing it together, like, based on leaving, yeah, it was about around this time when you left to go up there. So, kind of, oof. Well, I think we're doing well here. The only thing we don't really have at this point is a matter of having someone to deal with supplies and such, a quartermaster. So,
We're on that. We've got that happening
excellent. Well,
probably tomorrow.
it's later this evening.
Oh yeah, later.
Yep. That's great. I think that's the last piece we really need to establish to be able to be on our way for any kind of trips you might need to do. So I appreciate all your work and such, and yeah. So keep me posted. Let me know. If there's anything you need from me, I'd be happy to tag along or anything else wherever you're headed. Okay. Yeah, we need supplies. That's right. I mean, if we don't have them, we're not going anywhere because we need food. We need, yeah. We know we're good. Of course. And Ael just kind of heads off. Kind of, she actually goes and like hops up on the railing of the aft, kind of the backside of the ship there, and just sort of like sitting there, just kind of perched up on there. Little claws there digging into the wood railing there, sort of watching like out toward the land, watching the sky. What would you like to do now? I mean, Eldon's heading down to rest. You guys can obviously take the rest here, getting a short rest if you want. Recover anything you get off of a short rest if you still need to. Not quite enough time for a long rest, but you guys can wait. Or if you want to head to Strega, you can do that now too.
I think Sora's probably keen to get on that, aren't you?
Probably.
Okay.
She's still kind of out of it.
Sure. I mean, it's been a day.
Have a short rest, have a few hours, and then go out.
You also remember, I don't do well with magic-y, timey-wimey things. That castle was enough, and now we went to a whole nother realm and brought us backwards. It's enough.
You know that as a paladin, you are an actual magical creature yourself, right?
Yes, but it's a different kind of magical thing.
Yeah.
It's not the same.
And your race was created by magic.
Yes.
Yeah.
By that same kind of weird magic I'm not used to.
Mm-hmm.
Alden and Lucas and I, we're all, magical in different ways, but
Yeah.
If we're gonna rest here for a little bit, I'm gonna get my my saddle of summoning, and I'm gonna start heading north towards the estate.
Okay.
What?
And when you get within a mile of it, I'm gonna call my Pegasus back.
Okay.
Because I didn't unsummon it, so it's still up there with its boarding on. When I get within a mile of it, I can communicate with it.
Gotcha. Okay.
Back. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It just sort of like you call it back there, and just sort of like comes flying off from somewhere. You're not sure where it was exactly. So, but it does fly back to you and lands nearby.
I wondered what the hell you were going to do when you said you were going to the mansion. Jeez.
Yep. So
towards it.
I believe because Find Greater Steed, it does last for quite a long. It lasts until you dismiss it, right?
It lasts until you dismiss it, or until it drops to
so
0.
Yep. So, basically, you're not sure where it was, but it doesn't seem to be hurt or anything else like that. It does come back with the barding still on. So it lands there, kind of, except then he kind of butts its head against you there a little bit, and so you're able to hop on it, dismiss the summoned horse, and fly back. Yeah, it's a quicker trip coming back there because flight speed is pretty good on the Pegasus there, and you're not worrying about terrain or anything else. You'll be able to fly on back. Yeah. So, it takes about probably by the time you get back, everyone's short rest would be ending at that point. We're
Yeah,
wrapping
that's
up
fine.
there. So,
Mm-hmm.
okay.
Short rest.
Mhm.
Um, Eldon would be trying to help my fellow gnome friend
Sure.
with whatever
When
tasks.
well, she's in the process of installing a secondary levitation array,
I will
which
absolutely
will
be helping. Yeah.
yep. So she's yeah, so effectively she's actually installing the levitation spell plates to actually received from Nil. And she's been going in, setting it, basically creating the whole secondary array, which effectively would give this ship almost 24-hour range. Not quite. You'll still have to put down for a couple of hours, but it'll basically give it
I
about about a 20 or so hour flight time on a single set of charges there.
I also do have a ship accumulator in my
Mm-hmm.
bag. Um, that I'll.
Actually, I think you had to reinstall this one because that was the one you took from this ship originally.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so
Never mind. It's.
that one's already
I'll,
installed. Yeah,
I'll delete that. I'll delete that from
no,
my thing.
yeah, not a problem. Yeah, I was like, wait, you had to put it back in the ship in order to fly it away from Dravier because that was
Yeah,
the
you
one for
spent
this
time
ship.
doing that. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Um,
And there is a secondary accumulator now as well. Whatever funds were essentially sent along by Master Fairwood there, you do know that there was enough left over to pick up a secondary accumulator as well. Audrey does say we're kind of running low on conduit material. You might need to be picking up some more in town pretty soon, or I can go do it. Either way, I mean, we got. I think we might have enough, but it's going to be kind of close. I'd rather have a little extra. So, if you have some, I'll take it. If you don't, then pick some up in town.
Well, actually, interesting fact. I believe that Miss Sora is going to go and visit her family relations, and we could go together and go and get the material.
Sure, I wouldn't mind. So,
Yes.
okay. Well, let me wrap up this last couple connections over here, and then we'll put it aside and let the captain know we're heading back into town.
Yes, of course. Yes, and I will go and let my acquaintances know that they're welcome to go visit their brother, and I will be preparing the ship.
Sounds good. Right.
Yes.
So, be with you soon. And so she heads off there. Obviously, working on a few more of the connections there and some of the plates and such. Getting to a decent stopping point. She'll set down the plates that aren't hooked up yet and kind of get things there. Yeah. So, are you all going to head back into town to go talk to Draga, or you want to just each go your separate ways? Or what's the plan here?
Eldon will go to Amethyst. Ms. Amethyst, I am going to go and uh, go with my fellow gnome acquaintance to pick up the materials while you are going to go and visit with Sora's brother. Yes, I am going to get the ship prepared to head back to Ravenscrest. Yes.
When are you going to Ravenscrest?
I would expect day after tomorrow.
We're all going back there, though, aren't we?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Well, in that case, we can kind of you will also get a location to meet with the quartermaster. Um, it is an It is it said the location is a shop that's called the Chest and Quill, which you guys hadn't heard of or seen before, but there's also an indication of where it's at. Little sending thing here. Probably you to Amethyst because, I mean, you're the one who always reaches out your mind and has the sending and stuff like that. So this one will come to you as well. It's like, made the Chest and Quill, 6 o'clock, and corner of, let's see, and you realize it's actually, it's probably about a couple of blocks. What would that be? A couple of blocks east from the Tumble Tankard on the same street.
Okay, cool.
Right around here or so on the map.
Does Sora want us to go as a group to talk to her brother, or does she want to just go in and have a chat with him? Because he obviously doesn't realise that we know certain things.
I think that we all should go. Whoever wants to go, I should say. It would be easier. Sora does not like the whole backhanded part of his dealings with how he makes his money.
Sure.
Yeah, that's just not something she's comfortable with.
But he's
Elvon
only
is
really doing that as a cover for what he's actually doing, isn't he? It's not like
Well-
that's his priority.
Right, but if that was the case, then he would have, in Sora's mind, would have talked to somebody about making sure that he could do what he's doing inside of Port Oruss.
Well, you can definitely talk that out there.
He definitely has to be secretive, though, doesn't he? Because of the situation. I can understand it's a very difficult position that he's in, that he
Mhm.
needs to be doing all of this and covering it all up, and he's probably majorly stressed and on high alert all of the time, expecting someone to go, hang on a minute, what the hell's going on here? And if he gets caught, then it's blown apart everything that your mum's working for. So I understand that that's a very stressful position that he's in. And he's, we know that he's doing good. We know that he's saving lives, basically. He's a hero, but he has to do it in a way that people don't realize that what he's doing. So I'm getting all emotional. Bloody staff, Jimothy.
Well, I realized that one of the things, like, I had talked about the fact that it had gone missing and it had never been found.
so one of them goblins took it and
Probably.
just left it on the boat.
It ended up getting it ended up falling behind some stuff and just being kind of tucked off to the side of the ship there, kind of in the navigation area. Maybe it got propped up and then fell over.
Yeah.
It was just sort of like behind a table there against the wall, kind of blending in with the wood of the ship itself. So
I think he's clearly paranoid because the fewer people that know what he's doing, the better for him, because the less likely it is that he'll be found out. But then by not involving the syndicate, he risks
He made himself a target.
that and risks that being an issue. So if he wants to just say, okay, it's actually, chocolate or whatever it is that he's, and here's some money for you to protect me, then I think that would be beneficial to him and to them. And I think that he would then have more protection should the authorities want to investigate what he's doing. He'd be covered by the fact that the syndicate's looking out for him. So
I don't know how the business side works, but I thought that when he was building this, he wanted to be his own company, not have to rely on other companies. But that could just be me projecting on him.
But that's because what he's doing is a very secret operation, and obviously doesn't want anybody finding out. But if he can carry on doing that with the protection of the syndicate without actually saying, this is what I'm doing, I'm saving eggs from being slaughtered or whatever, then it should be okay. As long as they don't want to come in then and say, all right, then let's have a look at exactly what's going on, which he did say that they didn't want to do. They didn't want to look at ledgers or anything like that. They just want him to be a bit more open and say, okay, yes, I'm smuggling. Here's some money for the protection that you have. And it's kind of like insurance. It's cover for him should anything go wrong. Should
I'm
any
not
of the
saying
people
it's a
working
bad
for him get stopped, the syndicate will then protect and
I'm
cover.
not saying that it's a bad idea. I don't know. Until we talk to him, I don't know.
Well,
I
let's
feel
go
like
talk to him.
this is happening all on the deck of the ship while you're swinging around two
Probably
glowing hammers.
Oh yeah, at this point, yeah, sort of. So you get in the feel of it, sort of thing. And one thing I'll point out here is the fact that your ring of shielding
Mhm.
still protects you somewhat, even though you have the shield active. So you still have that +2. So you're kind of like kind of this weird like dual hammer thing of like this glowing sunburst hammer and this like crackling lightning and thunder hammer, and one in each hand.
I know that I'm not dual weapon proficient yet.
Mhm.
But
So what
feature
it means
thing.
is you can do 2-weapon fighting. You can hit with
Mhm.
your offhand weapon. It won't add your strength modifier to the damage, but you can still do it as a bonus action. Do an attack with the offhand.
Still smite with your offhand.
You sure can. Yep. So, with that in mind, we can guys kind of get yourselves down through, head back into the city. Are all four of you going and bringing Audrey along there?
I'm going on a date with Audrey.
Sure.
Aww.
Okay.
Are you telling
So,
us that that's what's happening?
Once,
I did
Tell
not.
us anything? No.
yeah,
No, I did not.
they're going to pick up materials and such, and so
Yeah.
you just see something here because I mean you are okay. She knows.
Who knows?
That was her insight check.
I'm not going to make. I'm not like making it like. I'm not trying to make it blatantly obvious what I'm doing.
Sure,
But it is.
but you're you.
Right.
But
I
you're
am
you.
and
Yeah.
going to like obviously like buy dinner, like all those types.
Sure.
Of buy,
I would say, Sora, you're very preoccupied, but Amethyst and Lucas, your insights are high enough that you can you're reading the writing on the wall as well. I mean, yeah, it's like, oh, okay.
My passive insight's a 10, Jim. So even if I was paying attention,
that's what I'm saying. Is your passive insight's not enough there? You're just doing. You're still kind of like, ooh, yeah. Exactly. And I think Lucas's passive is what, 15 or 16? I think it's somewhere around that.
19 inside.
Oh, your passive is 19. So yeah, again, and so you two are both realizing that she doesn't seem to mind. You're not sure if she's like definitely like she's not like giddy or anything like that. She's just like okay, she's kind of going along with it. But to her, it's definitely we've got things to go do. We'll see what else happens, and sort of that little sort of like so.
Can I telepathically say, be gentle with him?
Can she respond back to that normally?
Huh?
When you make the link, she can talk back to then, can she?
Yeah.
Okay. She's like, yeah, it'll be fine.
I don't think she knows Eldon.
I mean, yeah. She's like, yeah, it's all fine.
That'll be fine.
I mean, I'm only expecting to get some materials and head back to the ship. This is Eldon we're talking about, so.
Sure.
Yeah. So, have fun with whatever you guys are doing. And somewhere around Arcane Boulevard, basically here, they will head off down because best place to buy materials for you. There's a couple of shops there, but Nils' place is probably the best place to go and buy conduit materials and just Manatech stuff there. So, you guys can head on down to the Clockwork Emporium. The rest of you can head on down all the way it will take a while since it's the opposite end of the city, all the way down to Strega's place down here. So, it's a fairly uneventful trip. You guys are able to move through the city without being accosted or anything else. As it's starting to get dark, there the air traffic that normally is there, of people like using brooms of flying and ornithopters and other ways of getting traversing the city without being on the ground, starts to die down when it gets dark, just because people don't tend to have as good visibility then, so you don't see as much happening there. So as it's starting to get darker, it's probably around 5:30-ish. You actually get down. Actually, no, take that back. Just rewind. That's a little bit here because I'm realizing that you guys took off there probably somewhere around 4 because you're meeting your quartermaster at 6. So you're able to get there. So you get there. You probably get to Strega's around 4:30 or so. We'll call it there. So still decent foot traffic, still some wagons and various horses or other locomotive devices on the streets there. But as you guys arrive there, about the same time, Eldon and Audrey will be arriving at the Clockwork Emporium. We're going to go ahead and call it there for a break because it is our time there. So let's go ahead and take a couple minutes to step aside, stretch your legs, get some drinks, whatever you need to do. We'll be back soon. And welcome back. We are here. Eldon and the ship's mechanic there, Audrey, have arrived at the Clockwork Emporium. The rest of the group has arrived at the Court Striga Trading Company. So they're approximately, I believe, if I remember correctly here, Clockwork Emporium is right around here on this corner. And Court Striga is way down here. So we have the party split somewhat, but we'll go from there. Now, one thing, Eldon, I believe you talked to Nils already a little bit about the fact that you can kind of combine the
Yes.
familiar aspect with the homunculus aspect, and effectively free up an infusion slot by effectively making an enhanced familiar homunculus. So
Yes, we did
that
talk about
point
that.
you-
And
yes,
while we're purchasing those items, I did want to
Mhm.
talk with him more about that.
effectively, it's like so. Any questions, anything there? And so, oh yeah, conduit material basically pulls down a big spool of the coppery, what's alloy copper and quicksilver, a spool of wire there. Puts it down on the there. You need one
Yes.
or you need two. I can get you another one if there if you want.
Yes, we will in fact take two. That would
Perfect,
be
perfect.
most perfect. And then also, I will take more of the copper powder for mana tech construction.
Yeah,
And
sure. It pulls up
yes,
a little box full of puts it down there for you.
Yeah.
No problem there. Up to let's see, it's going to be a total of about let's see, 300 gold there.
yes, of
Total.
course. And also a few other items we had discussed. And then I'm going to like tap on my chest where the little spider is, and the spider's going to come off, and then my owl's going to come flooshing in, land on the table. Combining familiars and homunculus. Yes. How do we go exactly about doing this? As
Well, there's a trick to it, and let me show you. And he says, kind of makes a little motion there, and the little wireframe cat, the silver cat, will kind of like kind of do a little stretch kind of thing there, and puff out the little silver wings there. And again, the wireframe is all in like over top of sort of a grayish suede looking material, as it kind of gives a quick little flap there, and kind of flies up and then down, lands on the table in front of him there. He's like kind of like it's just a minute there. It'll only take a minute, okay? And the cat just sort of sits there and says, sit up. And so he like goes there and he actually takes it and almost like unwinds the wire across the chest part there and pulls it back open there. And you see this large emerald gem, the same color as the cat's eyes. And he's like, kind of reaches in there, twiddles with a little bit there, and pulls out this gem, this oval looking emerald. And you'll notice that it actually has little sort of inscription around the outer edge of the gem. Like, so what you see here, and he holds it up a little closer for you there. I've inscribed the Find Familiar spell, made this almost like a spell plate in a way. So actually so effectively I can summon her like a familiar, but she has the properties similar to homunculus. Kind of, it's the strengths and weaknesses, all the strengths of both, none of the weaknesses. And so the actual homunculus heart is now more of a familiar spell plate.
how interesting.
And so
I'll
so
rush over to my owl.
yeah.
Go
So
ahead. Sorry.
effectively, you can once you have you can take the heart, the homunculus there, and inscribe once you're ready here, go ahead and inscribe the characteristics of the familiar onto that, and then combine them effectively in a way that will allow you to basically have the best of both worlds. If it gets damaged, you can then use the familiar, summon the Find Familiar to resummon it and sort of reform it if it's disrupted in that way. But the homunculus can have the strengths of the homunculus there. I've also trained her a little bit. Obviously, you saw her; she was able to fly the flying carpet that we arrived on here a while ago, and she also had a little trick, and she kind of points up to the intricate looking crossbow in the corner that's sort of been like slowly tracking the room, essentially, which is his arcane cannon. Which is because he is also an artillerist. And so, essentially, that right up there, that's I call that one Caleb. There is one of the oldest things I created, even older than Callie here. She's actually been trained to be able to carry that around and use it like a mobile platform and fire it for me from a range. Um, so, again, there's a lot of different ways you can use your homunculus familiar, and I look forward to seeing some of the ways that you come up with. Oh,
Yes.
one other little thing here. Just gonna. She can attune to an item and
You're
effectively use
familiar.
it.
You're familiar. Can attune to a item? How interesting.
Yeah, it's
How?
actually how she flies around. Effectively, so her flight powers. I mean, obviously, that kind of situation there really can't fly. I've given her a flight ability based on attuning effectively it's essentially the same idea as winged boots, but effectively the suede material in there is an unraveled a set of winged boots, and she's attuned to them, and so she can fly around.
Most brilliant indeed. Yes.
So I look forward to seeing what you come up with. That I'm sure your devious little mind there will come up all sorts of things you can do with that little tidbit of information. But yeah, once you have the setup all done there, she's your little owl there can do all kinds of things to help you out. So, um, any other materials you need here?
I'll go through like a small shopping list. We can talk about
Sure.
later. I want to do some like I'm gonna make more Mythium stuff, Mysium stuff. So like I'll go through like a shopping list for that kind of stuff and just some other
Sure.
stuff we can talk about later.
Sure.
But yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So he'll definitely be happy to kind of whatever he doesn't have on hand, he can have for you by tomorrow morning or so as he kind of checks suppliers and such like that. So, but for the most part, probably unless you're actually asking for anything too outlandish there, he should have it on hand.
Yeah.
So
It's not
let me know later on, and we'll work out the details there.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
So you actually will find out that Audrey will actually pay for the conduit material there because she has a budget essentially she can use for materials and such that the captain has let to her. So she'll take care of that 200 gold. The other piece there you can go ahead and deduct 100 whatever the other costs are. We'll figure that out. But let's shift on south down here to the Quartz Trading Company as the three of you have arrived. And are able to head on inside. Within a few moments there, so actually Sirith will be sort of inside there, kind of at the desk, almost like she's a receptionist or some kind, or some sort of a greeter. Or something. She's sort of kicking back there, going through some notes or something like that on the table on the desk in front of her. Well, good to see you, everyone. I'm always happy to see you people. So, what can I help you with today?
Is Strega in?
Of course he is. Just a moment, please. I'll have him come right out. And so she.
Before you do, didn't you want to talk
Yes.
to her first?
Yeah and no. Yeah. I'll talk to her first.
Yeah, sure. So she's getting ready to cast the message spell, and so she pauses.
Mm-hmm.
What can I help you with?
What exactly is Strega getting through Port Oruss that he's having such an issue with the syndicate?
Apart from the obvious.
Apart from the obvious, yes.
Well, I wouldn't exactly call that obvious, but
Obvious
I can
to
assure
us.
you, I can't really go into specifics of client lists and shipping manifests and such like that. But I can assure you, um, nothing that's being brought into the city is dangerous or inherently. It, I mean, I can't even say it's really illegal for that matter. It's more a matter of them wanting to avoid paying certain tariffs and inspections and such. But he has suppliers in my homeland, the frozen coast to the north. The eastern side of the Airy Mountains is where I'm from originally. And there's a number of interesting materials from that cold environment, and certain animal pelts and certain exotic meats and such that are brought in from that area. He has contacts, some clients that bring in materials like gemstones and precious metals and such from Coppervale. Um, and then uh, place some materials that are much harder to get in large quantities, but smaller quantities of things from Drakal and of course Dreadmire. There are many exotic meats and animal pelts and skins that can be acquired there in no other place in the world. So he does bring those materials in for the Dreadmire. And of course, those materials from the Dreadmire and the clients he has there are the ones that help with the other um,
Hmm.
uh,
Yeah, yeah.
activities such there. That's sort of a way that we can bring those goods in and people and such from that region without any real suspicion.
Has he
Um,
tried talking to the syndicate here about making some type of parlay, as it were?
I think that your brother is a very, I mean, and this will sound strange, I know, based on his dealings there. He's a very honorable person, and he's had issues with dealing with the syndicate because of their um, wide range of activities for the most part. Understand this seems a little bit strange from someone who smuggles goods, but there's a lot of other um, there's a lot of other activities that they engage in that he does not quite so accepting of. I would say maybe I don't know. There's a lot of I I I mean I'm sure there's a lot of misinformation. There's a lot of I don't, some of the rumors I'm sure are not true in terms of what they
Hmm.
do
Hmm.
and activities and such. But then there may be the same thing of our festivities as well. So I'm, like I said, I can't, I don't have a lot of say in what your brother does. Um, I advise, I do what I can to help, but his decisions are his own for the most part. So, in terms of more details, I'm sure I'm sure he'd be willing to provide them. Any assistance you can provide is also extremely welcome and frankly needed. I'm
Hmm.
afraid we're heading for a very difficult time if we can't work this out.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, all right. I guess then for him, I think we're ready.
All right.
I think
Um,
that we're in a position where we can get the syndicate to back off if he's happy to say these are the items that we're smuggling and here's a payment every month, no questions
I mean,
asked kind of thing.
that's what make that would probably be the best arrangement we could hope for. But
And
I'm
he'd
sure he
obviously
will.
then have the protections that I understand you have concerns about. Well, Jake has concerns about the syndicate. Sora herself has problems with them for the same reasons. But like it or not, they have a lot of power and a lot of influence in this city and beyond. So definitely
I
better to work
I
with
will
them
say
than
that there's,
against them, I think.
of course, it makes sense. I have no experience with them. They were not there's no organization like that really in my homeland. So, being in the city like this and seeing all of the things that are here, it's a very strange thing. But I will call for him now if you wish. Okay, and so she goes ahead and does what she was the message cantrip there, says something under her breath there, and I mean, within a couple of minutes, or maybe a minute or two, you see the large figure step through the doorway there. He's not wearing his armor at this point. He's wearing just sort of a tabard kind of thing like that. Fairly casual looking for the most part there. Sword still across his back. A massive two-handed sword, still on his back there, as you've never seen him. And sorry, you've never seen him not wear it. He was even wearing it at the wedding.
Did wear it
Has
to the
that
wedding. Little
Yep,
bugger.
that sword is always on. And so, well, it's good to see you, Sora, and Amethyst and Lucas. I hope all is well, and I think that I understand that there's some discussions to be had.
Yeah. I think we can get the syndicate to back off of, dealings and whatnots for you. But it would require you kind of like paying them money,
You sort of like,
like a protection type thing.
well,
Making it sound
I
really bad.
understand. I mean, I'm
That's not
already
exactly.
paying. Good. Was that?
Can you say that's not exactly what they said?
Mm-mm.
They said that they'd need someone kind of overseeing what you're bringing in, so they could obviously smooth them into their own organization.
And to be
No,
also willing
that's
to give you protection should the authorities become involved or anybody get stopped on the way coming through or anything. And while I think that we have a situation where that would work best for both of you, because otherwise, I think it's probably better to work with them than against them.
I assume you must pay people money to look the other way for your own operation.
I've managed to, by working with specific clients for specific goods, able to get not have anyone really look too closely. But I realize that more the more we're involved with, the more difficult it's becoming. Obviously, I think the fact that we were such a small operation for so long that nobody really noticed us, but as we're expanding into more legitimate markets, thanks to grandmother, we're coming under more scrutiny with the amount of money that we have and such. So, you think they're, I won't even say trustworthy, but do you think they can be relied upon, the syndicate?
I don't like the whole
Absolutely.
thing. I don't like what you're doing. I don't like what they're doing. I don't like the whole thing. But I understand that it is how life works sometimes, and we just have to deal with it. I don't trust anybody to do what they say they're going to do.
That's a problem, Sora. This is also true of business. Do you
Exactly.
think
This is
grandmother?
why
You think
I.
grandmother? Do you think grandmother doesn't pay the syndicate
Oh, I
in
know she
Shorehaven?
does. That I know she
Of
does.
course.
She's just as bad as the rest of you. I just don't trust any of it. But I will say that the workings that we have done with the syndicate thus far, they have been true to their words.
So if someone's paying the syndicate on that end, why does that not translate into the syndicate this end? I
Two
don't
different.
understand why that
They're,
needs.
they're two different
What do you
companies.
mean?
My
Is it a
grandmother.
different syndicate?
Uh-huh. The one in
Okay.
Port Oruss is
No,
different from the one in Ravenscrest and in
Okay.
South Shore.
no,
So the
no.
one in
That's what I
Ravenscrest
know.
is the one.
Yeah. No, they're the same organization. They just do different operations. So grandmother, uh, so one thing that I know of the syndicate is they will ensure that shipments go unaccosted, or that certain criminals will not get involved with poking around warehouses and such, or harassing any clients. The syndicate doesn't do it themselves. They ensure that other people that aren't syndicate don't do it. They don't engage in those activities directly, but they will sort of police the underworld in a way, is my understanding of how Grandmother deals with things.
So you understand it
Unfortunately-
enough that you could appreciate that it's going to work this end as well.
I mean,
can see
we
that.
did have to go find that shipment. We ended up finding the vampire lair in. Supposed to be on its way from Port Oruss to Raven's Crest, or from Shorehaven to Raven's Crest.
You dealt with vampires.
We have dealt with a lot.
She got bit on the boob.
I did get bit on the boob. Yes, I most definitely did.
He looks at you. Actually see him, Sora, for the first time, probably. He activates his divine sense. And
Dude, we just got back from the Feywild. Check out this wand.
Don't go there.
I can tell. There's sort of a strange okay, adventuring. I have to say, I'm almost glad that I'm not doing it anymore, just for this craziness.
Who are you
Right.
telling? We came back from the past, future. I don't know, Amethyst. You explain it. I'm still confused.
Time just moves differently there.
Yes, I dealt with Faye, but never been there. So, great.
It was an
I've been to
accidental trip.
Been to
We
Shadow.
didn't-
I've been to
tripped and landed
Shadowfell,
in
but
the
not to
Feywild.
Feywild.
You've been to Shadow. Well, I don't want to go there. Can we stop naming places that we can go through some little timey-wimey thing, because I don't want to go.
Well, I mean,
Right.
if you're dealing with vampires, they're very closely linked to Shadowfell. So, I've dealt with some
Oh.
as well. So,
We haven't dealt
There-
with any since, have we?
nothing you know of.
No, I don't think.
Not that you're aware of.
Right. It was actually, they
Once again,
started
in
here in
Congo,
Port
working
Oruss.
for Wraith, weren't they? So.
Well, they were here in Port Oruss, up in the graveyard,
Mm-hmm.
and then they ended up working for Wraith.
It's Vampire Friend, yes.
Well, great. Well, like I said, I'm not in that business any longer for the most part, but
It's okay, we killed him.
Yeah, we did.
good. That's very good. Yeah, they're hard to kill, so I'm glad you were able to do it. Well, okay. So you're saying that I can speak with the syndicate. They want to know more details, and there's some sort of a fee involved.
Yeah, this is the gist of it. But like,
The
you don't
fee,
have.
doesn't surprise me. That's
Yeah.
That gives you some assurances that you won't be, nothing will be discovered and you won't be interfered with by anybody else, whether it be criminal or official organizations.
that would be good as long as they don't look too closely at the shipments from Dreadmire.
From what
Well,
I
they did
understand,
say that they don't want to see ledgers or anything, didn't they, Sora? So
That's good.
The problem is they don't know
yeah, but like
what
when
you're
they said they wanted
smuggling.
to take a look at what he's bringing in. Yeah, they did say they wanted to take a look at what he's bringing in. They just didn't need to see ledgers and paperwork. So
then at some point there needs to be a shipment that has got let's say, the special items omitted so that they can see the items that you're bringing in without that. And then
We do
after
that.
that,
We have regular shipments from Dreadmire that don't involve
there you go then.
special items.
any extra.
Then those are the days when you're available for them to come and see what you're bringing in.
Right. I mean,
If there is any involvement in the future, if there is any sort of, you feel like they're stepping on toes, by all means reach out to us and we can go and have a word and stuff. We can
Well,
act as a go-between.
They did say that we didn't have to be a go-between. We could appoint somebody to be the go-between. And I think that that she would be the better option, as I point to my sister-in-law over there.
Well, it looks like me.
Yeah, yeah. Because, well, I mean, think about it. You're a little bit more level-headed than my brother, as I push him and don't move because he's like a rock.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Although you have a 20 strength, don't you? Or you're
Do
still
I have a
18?
20 strength yet?
Or you still at 18?
No, I'm 18.
Okay. Yeah, he's definitely doesn't you move him a little bit. It's not like you don't like he doesn't like stagger to the side, and he's sort of like kind of lean like kind of just a little bit, just a little move, kind of moves with the shove a little bit for the most part.
Mhm.
Kind of smiles at you and right. Well, Sirith, if you're willing to, of course I'm willing to. Don't worry about that. I can talk with them. I can be intermediary. Um, Wait. The the alley. They were there, weren't they?
The one where he died?
No. The oh. Uh the dragon statue thing that you guys recovered and
Huh?
right.
Yeah, that was them.
Right, of course, of course. Well, I think that they would have seen me there probably. So yes, I think that maybe yeah, I can talk to them. That's fine. As he's also a sorcerer with very high charisma, steps in to do negotiations.
I mean, I understand that they are somewhat criminal organization, but I also think they do a lot of good. I mean, Sora and the others would probably be dead still right now if it wasn't for them.
Yeah, there is that. We did die, and like because I
You
told
told
you.
him that, yeah.
Yeah. And it was them who the syndicate who went and got the correct amount of people and the right people to be able to undo what he did.
They've also given us information that we needed to track down really evil people and get rid of them. We got rid of Wraith with their help. So, I think they do a lot of good. I think there's obviously the backhanded criminal side, but I do think that they can be trusted.
Well, I will take your word, and I mean I know you can be trusted as well. Fine, I think I mean Sora, like because I mean so the devotion paladin talking to the vengeance paladin is what they're talking
Yep.
about here. And it's like you just sort of like
Yeah.
fine. I think that we can make this work. And he looks at Sirith and she then nods. It'll be fine. I will talk with them. I will make the arrangements here. We will provide what's needed and keep things hidden that they aren't going to see. And I think for the most part our alternate arrangements we have are very secure.
Yeah, I don't think you would need to worry about it too much. I would say though, maybe find a different city for a couple of weeks until things get smoothed over. Or,
Possible.
or a
I mean,
cabin out in the woods someplace,
well, Sora, we have potentially a new shipment. You have the means to retrieve it. Maybe he sort of like pauses. There are two hatchlings and a caretaker that are being arranged. They are being well, moved. It will take some time, but when it does happen, I know you have the means to go and retrieve them. If you could do so, I can make that happen.
You just say when and where.
Okay, I will. And I will make the arrangements. I will make sure everyone is aware of the situation, and it says make everyone aware of the situation. He's like, he pauses, and he's like, I mean, mother.
I kind of figured. Thank you, Strega. I kind of figured it was mom.
Yeah, like he's got charisma, but he's also not like super.
He's got
So,
charisma, but he doesn't have my charisma. No, it's fine.
And
I mean, he's a paladin.
deception's probably,
Yeah.
I say deception's
Yeah.
not on his list of.
Exactly, he's
No.
got no deception whatsoever, and not a high intelligence either. So wisdom's good, decent, but you're starting to realize you have very similar stats.
Yes, we do.
So I once we had this smoothed over, once we had that all set up there, then maybe I mean, I don't think anyone's going to look twice at your operations if you go and make them retrievals.
Does this mean she's done, or does it just mean she's trying to get them out?
They're being brought out, and someone will need to pick them up. So once I know where they're being taken, where the pickup will take place, I can let you know. And yeah, I think that I have no doubt that she'd want to see you, and this would make the operation a little bit less difficult for this one here. We don't normally bring out two hatchlings at once, so this is a different situation.
Mm-hmm.
So
They've already hatched.
Mm-hmm.
yes,
So
and
get to
until
play
they
with
hatch,
baby dragons.
We have baby dragons.
dragonkin, yeah.
Dragon kid, we'll get to play with some baby dragon kid.
Dragons.
So I'll be in touch as soon as I know more, and Sirith will meet with your contact, and I think that we will be able to save ourselves from scrutiny.
I think honestly, it would help you better in the end. You would be able to still maintain doing what you're doing, and then once everything is smoothed and calmed down, resume what you were doing.
Yeah.
Yes.
And it will give you an opportunity to just say, come anytime this week or whatever, and they'll see that it's all above board or whatever. And
Sure. Yes.
They just want to make sure
And
it's not dangerous coming into the city. Like, high
Yeah.
truly,
explosives.
my most common things are meats from exotic creatures and far off locales, and hides and furs from such things as well.
Mhm. I think
Things
what
from the
bothered
far
them.
north, things from the Dreadmire. It's just that people tend to require certain payment tariffs and such, and they want to avoid paying the extra money.
Mhm.
So
I think what bothered them was that they could not get any information on your operation at all, which means
just
you were
sort of
doing your job, but like.
yeah, it's like it was a very slow process of networking of clients, and then
Mhm.
and finding the right operations and finding the right shipments and the right people and such. And so it's been a long time coming. So it'll be easier to continue without having to worry about them breathing down my neck.
Mhm. Mhm.
So, well, get you anything else or anything else you need, or
I don't think so. Elnie hooked me up with this really cool. Eldon hooked me up with this really cool armor. See, it's all blue and shiny like me.
that's
I'll do a
that's
twirl.
very. Yeah, I mean, it's like because actually, do you have the armor retracted or fully in place?
If I'm showing it off, I'm going to retract it or
Okay,
fully like full out.
yeah. So it's like that's very interesting material there. I don't think I've ever seen anything like that. And where's your shield? Where you got two hammers now? What have you been doing?
You don't want to know, but I still have a shield. It's
Of
on my
course I
ring.
do.
It's on my ring, and
Okay.
and then I found this nifty new hammer that I'm just learning to play with. It's called Sunbringer.
Forger.
Forger, Sun Forger. Oh, it'll bring the sun, Jim. Let me tell
Oh
you.
yeah, it definitely will.
and with Mother's Hammer and this one, it's
Yeah.
one night and day.
I realize you guys have another fireball among you too, which is just great. It's
Yep.
just what I needed, but it's it's awesome. So
Yep.
Bring the fire.
exactly. Fire, lightning, and thunder. All right, there we go. So
I still have my shield. It's just on a ring.
well, I think I will say this: you already have better equipment than I have.
You didn't have an artificer in your group, man.
This
They're
is
the
true. I
best.
mean, I have a druid and a barbarian. They're just they don't tend to make cool things. I mean, just it's and of course, my lady wife doesn't wear much in the way of anything in terms of armor and weapons and such. Like, don't you like it that way? Don't you? Of course. Yeah. Right. Yes, of course. Uh-oh.
Maybe you can get Alden make him something for his next birthday.
So, all right. Well, I think then if you don't need anything else here, I'll get back to my things and prepare for what might some kind of inspection slash meeting, whatever. Right. Well, sir,
I'm
I
going
appreciate it, of
to
course.
whisper to
Oh
him
no.
to beware the Duchess's house. Not to go up there, the manor.
I'm not sure why I'd want to, but yeah, don't do
Just
it.
stay away from it. Yeah. Just
Lost Alney.
we did.
Yeah.
We're having
Internet
some
just went out.
storms.
Yeah.
We're having bad storms this week. Just kind of stay away from the Duchess's manor. Keep your people away from there too.
I don't have anything to do with that place, so
Good. Good. Just
and I mean I'm about as far away right from the keep as I can get in the city. So it's
just
it's it's way up here.
mhm. I'm just letting my brother know some hinky stuff is going on,
Sure.
and to keep his people away from there, because they may accidentally slip and fall into the Feywilds.
That's not an accident. Come on. You went down a rabbit hole, didn't you? You went down a rabbit hole, didn't you?
It
You
was a
actually
snake
chased something
hole.
into even worse.
You
should
know I
know
have
better.
to kill the
Never
snake.
chase it. Okay, fine. Yes, of course.
Well, we had to because
we went in a
coins.
tunnel. We thought we'd come back out of the tunnel, but we ended up in the Feywild with no way to get back. So we had to, call upon a friend to get us back, who happened to be a pixie queen. That was quite interesting.
She had fun.
She
Yeah,
gave me my wand.
the two of them share a glance of like, okay.
It was
So,
awesome.
hold on, but you used to adventure. What do you know about? I say adventure in quotations. What do you know about coins that you can? What's the word you guys used? Summon, trap, imprison people into? Or coins that
nothing of that.
The Mad King's coins. Dark King, Black King.
Dark, but yeah.
Dirt King's coins.
I know nothing of that. I not a thing.
Okay. Never mind then. We're good.
Okay. Well,
Very dangerous individuals are trapped inside coins put there by the Dark King, and we have to pull all of them out of the coins and send them back to where they came from. So that's what we've been doing. The reason we
what
went
kind
to
of
kill
individuals?
demons,
Um,
devils, fae.
I got to play a chain devil in a dream I had. Pretty sure it was a
It-
dream.
Welcome
It
back,
was a,
Ellie.
it was a dream, right?
It was a dream.
It was a dream. Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wait,
You keep
chain
telling me.
devil. Right.
Yeah.
I think they're dangerous.
You think?
Extremely.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I've been hearing weird rumors about some sort of chain devil working with like giants down in the south.
Giants down in the south?
Is that what Kiva's been up to?
No.
No wonder
I
she's
mean,
been secretive.
no, I mean the giant tribes down in the south have been all kinds of a mess. The whole southern border of Dravia has been sort of like on high alert as the giants have been fighting with each other for the most part. And there's been this chain wielding maniac almost leading the hill giant forces, or at least helping them in some way. That's what I've been hearing, at least.
I guess that's where we're going next.
I mean, I
2 minds, Amethyst. 2 minds.
I don't know much about other than that. Just in rumors and such. I mean, the military has been
That's
talking about it. There's been anyone who travels on the southern reaches of Dravia has been hearing about it for the most part. The Goliath tribes are all in a did about it. I mean, I don't even.
oh, man.
That's weird. I mean, those things aren't usually here for a long period of time in this world because they're summoned and then go back. I mean, people
Yeah,
can
unless
do that
they're trapped inside of a coin.
unless they're
They
trapped
might be,
inside.
if it is Nico Vol, then it will be trapped inside of a coin and being, I don't know, summoned or used in some way by whoever the owner of the coin is.
Well, I am glad I'm up here and not dealing with any of that stuff.
Yeah, I guess.
I mean,
You
I
don't want
just
to come with us?
I mean, I've been hearing rumors about a werewolf in the streets. I don't know about it
In what streets? Where?
here in Port Oruss.
Oh my gosh. That's the
There's
other
been,
coin.
there's been attack. What? There's been attacks. People have been clawed up and
We were sent to
One of
figure
the
that out too.
one of the coins contains a Fey enhanced werewolf, doesn't it?
Yeah, probably.
Which one of us was that one? Was that
That was Torben.
Torben? Of course, yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
pretty daggers for claws.
All right.
Well, I'll
Thank you
see if I
for.
can find any
Interesting.
more information about that.
That would be
I mean,
useful.
it hasn't been a lot of. It's not a widespread attack. It's just been there've been a couple of attacks. In the last few weeks, maybe last month or so. I don't. It's hard to say exactly because I mean we do have problems with people. I mean there are some bad people that show up and do terrible things, and so when you find a pattern of people being clawed by something large, then it tends to be. I mean, I've heard of maybe 4 or 5 people in the last maybe month. I don't know,
That's too
but
many still.
yeah, I mean, they may not all be the same thing. They might be. I mean, but something to keep in mind, I guess.
Also, something else to keep in mind is we still have Aqua's coin. I need to be getting rid of that before we start picking up more coins.
Yeah.
Mm.
Spunnel.
All right, I think we thank you, brother, for all
Of
the
course.
information.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna go deal with some stuff, and we'll be back.
I guess the last thing I would say: don't mess with the Duchess. Don't do that. That's a bad idea.
I
You
mean,
mentioned the
if
Duchess
she,
about that her
yeah,
estate, and just don't.
Why?
if she's a bad lady, we're gonna have to deal with her in bad ways.
Is she bad? Wait, no.
She is she's second in line for the throne.
Yeah, I know she's
She's
very important, and she's.
she rules this northern region. If she were to say, like, if she would say send the military out to go do something, they do it. She rules the entire northern reaches of Caravan.
Which is a concern, because if she is doing dodgy things and harming people, we're putting somebody like that in even more power than they're already in right now, and that's scary.
I mean, the only way she gets more power is if she takes the throne.
Yeah. But if she's killing people and she's doing that, what's stopping her from having other people assassinated?
I'm not
problem
there, so I'm
is-
missing this whole conversation.
You are.
Yep.
I was talking you up too about my outfit and everything.
Yep.
The thing that gets me though is like, if we deal with her, and this is to Amethyst inside of her head, and Lucas too, if we deal with the Duchess because she is doing bad things, we don't know who's coming up to follow her. They could be even worse. We don't know what the upper people will do, because technically that's an act of treason. And it will backfire on not just us, but all of our loved ones and family members behind us.
I think the royal family in Gavon need to hear about it, at least what's going on in her mansion. If we can find a way of contacting or talking to somebody who is in contact or can talk to them, that might not be a bad idea, because if what is going on in that mansion, she knows about it and she is on board with it all, or even if not, maybe that guy that's there, the caretaker, maybe he has some sort of spell on her and he's just letting him get away with whatever the hell he's doing up there because of that. I don't know. I don't know if she's involved or not, but if she is, that's a very, very powerful, important person doing really, really bad things. And that's scary. People were going into her mansion and never coming back. They were being eaten or whatever. There's a portal to the Feywild in her home. I mean, that guy at least is dodgy as anything. The caretaker dude.
So
It's
let me ask you this.
scary.
So you said before in your heads here. Do you want to go ahead and take the conversation outside and move on to someplace else while you have the conversation?
Yes.
Okay. So they will thank you for your help. They will thank you for their information. Theoretically, will go ahead and make the arrangements to meet and discuss and work out terms and such. And then Stray will be involved, of course, with agreeing to the terms and everything else. So they'll take care of it. And thank you again. Sirith gives you a hug. Stray gives a much more awkward hug, kind of that brotherly, like pat. Well, it's sort of like
I'm gonna hug him as well.
Yeah, okay, you're right. Yes, and it's a little less awkward because it's like two very, very large, scaly, muscly people trying to hug each other, as opposed to this lithe cat person who can just kind of like wrap around and So very, very different, much less awkward hugging you. But there's also that brother sister hug thing that's a little like, okay, yeah, right, yeah.
Still mad at you for leaving and not telling me. Yep.
Yes, you were still wet behind the ears and tugging on grandma's skirts. So.
Don't care. Anyways, see you later. I'll talk to you later.
So
now he's jealous of you.
Now he's what?
Jealous of her armor.
Oh yeah, I mean,
totally is.
Yeah, you're also about to surpass his level.
Good.
So interesting. Yeah.
Mhm.
So, so, um, so by this time, well, it took a little bit of time there. So you're probably pushing around after 5 o'clock, maybe 5:50, getting closer to 5:30 now. So this point would be getting close to time when you go meet the quartermaster. Eldon, was the plan to escort Audrey back to the ship and then with the stuff and then meet up with the quartermaster as well? Cool.
Yeah, I was gonna do like falafel on the way back to the ship.
Sure.
Falafel?
Falafel.
Yeah, just
on the way
like
back,
walk and eat. Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, walk and eat.
She seems very pleased with it. Just like because you notice she just
her to be nice.
whatever the spiciest kind of sauce they've got or whatever there just slathers on there. Just like it's like just kind of
Oh yeah.
you can your eyes are almost watering walking next to her. She's got it so spicy.
It's like that like wonderful burn that's like on the
Mhm.
edge of being
Yeah.
way too much, but it's still burning deliciousness. Oh yeah.
So yeah, so
100%.
I'm not sure. I don't know how Eldon takes this. Probably
Oh,
much more bland.
Eldon would
Yeah.
go. Eldon would go 100% hot mode too.
Okay, cool. Then
Yeah.
you guys both enjoy a very spicy food, walking along, talking, and a decent, a pretty nice conversation. Having its awkward moments, of course, at least. But there's a lot of you kind of settle into that like that
Brain.
almost shop talk a
Yeah,
little bit
brain
there.
mode. Yeah.
And she definitely has a much higher charisma than you. You'll just in terms of like she ends up taking a lot of the conversation and steering the conversation there because just above table here, she's actually a rogue artificer. She had levels in rogue before she learned to be an artificer.
Freaking awesome.
So yeah, so
And-
she's much
yeah.
more dexterous, much more charismatic, and has a good intelligence. Not quite, he's not maxed out like yours. Definitely intelligent, but
Yeah.
enough to be able to carry a conversation with you.
Yeah.
So it's not hard to escort her back there, and we'll just say that just for expediency's sake, there you guys all arrive at the Chest and Quill, where the artificer person is supposed to be, right around 6 o'clock. All kind of converge there, able to outside there, and what you see is a strangely large, short building. Like it's like almost like a warehouse, but it's sort of L shaped. Like it has this like little section of the front there, and then it goes like back, and then so it's kind of like this, almost like this kind of a shape here, where the front door here, and there's this large, almost like warehouse looking thing out the back. When you knock on the door, it opens right up. And there's a little jingle, jingle, jingle. And of a bell hanging up over the door there as you go inside. And there's a flutter of wings as you walk in. And you look and you don't see any actual birds, but there's definitely just something flutters off out of the room away from you as you enter the front room there. And it's not really it's similar in size of kind of an entry area kind of thing, similar to what Straga's place has. Is that sort of like reception area? But there's only like a couple of like just kind of rickety looking like almost like folding chairs off to one side, and then a little like just a bare table with another rickety chair looking behind it, not even a desk. Um, Very just bare bones, nothing really fancy, nothing on the walls really for that matter either. But you do notice, those of you a little more, you do notice there are like on the wall leading outside there's a door, and there's just this open like slit, almost like a window, but just this open gap, just below the ceiling there that goes off into a larger space beyond. Doesn't take the long, but the door opens up, and you see sort of a somewhat hunched, uh, almost somewhat elderly human man. It sits out there, and he's wearing kind of black robes essentially, and just kind of this white little like scraggly looking hair, kind of tucked back there,
Oh, what are you people doing? Uh, right. There was a message that came through. One moment, just a moment, please.
And he sort of like steps away, and you hear him just go,
Hey, come on out of here.
and there's like a pause as there's a strange like scrabbling of what sounds like claws or something on a wooden floor. It sort of and comes like up to the front there, and um there's the guy sort of like steps out of the way as the door slams open, and 4, maybe 4.5 feet tall, also black robes, you see a Kenku who just steps out there, the black raven looking feathers and stuff like that. But there's white feathers kind of puffed in there as well. It's not fully black. There's actually like some white feathers dusting in the way there. The hands, can you see kind of the feathers poking out from the robes? There are also some white feathers mixed in with the black feathers. And
We have people. Oh, good. Oh, all right. Let's see. Uh, hmm. Right. Syndicate. Of course. Right. Come this way. Come this way.
and he just sort of like steps back out of the way there. And you see he's got just the bird feet down at the bottom there, and he sort of steps back there. Um, he kind of waves
This way. Come this way.
as you all are led into the back room. And this room is huge. It is just a massive, think like warehouse big. It's not, it's like just stacks of shelves, and there's just boxes or crates or chests or something just on shelves out there. And off to the side is like a little like the seating area, and these chairs look much more comfortable. Like, please have a seat, and over there, and one moment, please. He's like he just kind of leans over and says in a different voice entirely, a different language that I don't think any of you currently speak. Let me double check that. Anyone speak? Uh, it would be Orin or Primordial. Who's okay? So it's sort of this weird airy sounding, like the tone of voice totally changes, and there's this thing there, and the older man just nods and walks back in the room there. In the middle of the floor, because the seating in the corner of this little side part of the room there, you see there's a couple of chairs and couches that are much more comfortable, and there's a worn spot in the floor. But obviously things have been set down there a number of times. It's as you can see, kind of see this little like patch in the floor that's just worn out a bit. Please have a seat, and we'll be with you in just a moment. He's going to get what we need here. So, my name is Boom. I am able to act as a the
What was your
best
name again?
term for it. Boom. And it does sound like an explosion. He's like kind of boom a bit there. I apologize for our very strange way of talking, but we have to cobble together mimics and phrases from various people and places and things, and so here we are. Anyway, we have here, I provide services of a sort of storage, retrieval, and supplying. And he's like, and you see at this point, the older gentleman looking there, the kind of the is wheeling out on like a dolly. You see, kind of like a little dolly there, a very large looking chest, massive chest, and it's sort of like a hand truck kind of thing. And he's kind of like slowly pushing it, just like across from this rack of shelves in the back there as he's walking toward you all. And he's like, please, have a seat, and um, guys take a seat, or you want to stand around, or what do you want to do here?
Yeah, I'll take a seat. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
first thing first. Hi, boom. I'm Sora. Nice to meet you. And
Nice
then
to
I'll
meet
sit down.
you. Nice to meet you, Sora.
And he says your name in your voice.
So weird.
Wow.
It's
My
so
name's
great.
Amethyst. Do me, do me.
Amethyst. Very good. Yes.
Love it.
And the
My name is Eldon Mernig. It's
Eldon
a
Mernig.
pleasure to meet you.
And I'm Lucas.
Lucas. Very good. It is very wonderful to meet you all. And I, as I said, offer a very unique service. I understand you needed someone who can help with supplies. Well, I can do just that. And he says, stops for a moment there and says, for a limited time, you can have a sorry. You too can have my services as
That
I
was
make
so unexpected.
for a small
Sorry,
fee.
sorry.
For a small maintenance fee, after initial setup costs, of course, you will be able to store and retrieve items with me, and I will be able to supply items through a very unique way of storing and transferring goods. Now, terms and conditions apply, of course, but after my contract is in place there, I will present you the item you need to access your special trove. He pauses for a moment and so what happens here is I have and he reaches in and at that point finally the old man kind of walks up there and he boom, puts down this chest and this chest is like 5 feet wide, about 3 feet tall and 3 feet deep. Massive. Dark wood, kind of like the little bands across it there. Seemingly no lock on it specifically. Um, but the old man reaches into a pocket in his robes there and pulls out and hands something to Boom, and he like holds it in his hand. Thank you. That's all for now. You can go. And he the guy just sort of nods and like wanders off there, leaves the hand cart for now. Like so, um, as the arrangement has been made, the initial setup fee has been covered. There is a monthly maintenance fee for how we do this, and he pulls out and he hands you. He kind of holds out, and whichever one he wants to take there, an exact replica of the giant chest on the floor. It's about yay big, like it's essentially 5 inches by 3 inches by 3 inches. But the exact same color wood, the exact same banding, the exact same look there. So, how this works is take that, put it down over there. And he put it down over on the floor there. Like, all right. So he then hands you, Sora, take this. And you have like this, it's like a key, like basically a little key there. Touch it to this and say, retrieve 15.
Retrieve 15.
The chest suddenly gets this duplicates and becomes the same size as the one here. And you open it up and you see inside is a coil of rope and some lantern oil or something. It's like, okay. Like, go ahead and retrieve those. And you take them out, close it. And he goes, and as soon as he closes it there, he then goes to the other chest, the big one, opens it up, takes a jar of some kind of like maybe jelly of some kind there. Looks at
Jam. It's
shrugs.
jam.
But it has fruit not in it yet. So puts it down inside there, closes it, says, now, open yours. And you open it up, and the jars is in the chest that you're looking at. These two chests are linked.
Wow.
So all you have to do is, if you speak to me, I can put things in the chest that we have stored here, and you can retrieve it from the chest that you have there.
Can you put me
Now,
in
you
that
need to
one
make
and I'll
sure.
come out of that one?
I do not recommend that. It is
Mm.
very dangerous, and to do so would result in potential loss of limb or worse.
Keep your
And-
hands and arms inside.
And we're not liable for any loss of either thing.
What am I doing with the lamp and rope?
Oh, you can put it back if you want. And he's like, very good. All right, okay. And then when you're done, you say, dismiss 15.
Dismiss 15. Do
And
I
the
have to
chest
touch the
shrinks.
key again?
Yeah, you touch it the chest there, and the chest shrinks back down to its small size, and you can pick it up. So,
Why 15?
oh, that's chest number 15. And you
Oh.
look back, and there's rows of chests on similar style chests back in the warehouse beyond.
Can we not give it a name instead of number 15?
Oh, that's
Oh,
just
Does
That's-
that
it's-
chest look like this chest? And I'll pull Chesty out.
No.
exactly. Oh no, nothing like that. He sort of like looks at that and goes, "Huh."
He's sleeping.
It's chesty.
It's Chesty. I'm holding two chests, y'all.
Is he do like the bird like
Yeah, you just sort of like
nod back and forth like what
Yeah,
is
just-
this?
the head cocks back and forth there.
Hey,
Don't forget
Chesty,
yourself and try and put stuff in that one.
Chesty, wake up, wake up, wake up. I'll put him on the floor and I'll hand out the thing.
No. Put that away, please. And he's
Okay.
like, I know what that is. No, we don't have those here. No.
But he's a good boy.
I'll take your word for it.
I'll put him away
Oh,
and
okay.
give him back chest number 15.
So he says, that key you have there also acts as a sending stone.
Nice.
You tell me what you want. I will retrieve it and put it in your chest. Then you can
Wow.
retrieve it from your chest wherever you are.
He's a mailman.
So I do act for a number of people, and he kind of waves to the warehouse. Those who've been taking on my services, I can store things here in your chest. If you wish to leave it in the chest, I can keep it here, and you can retrieve it at a later time. Or if you wish to have something sent to you, I can retrieve your chest, put it in, and you can retrieve it on your end.
Amazing.
I love it.
Does that stay on the
Much-
ship there, or do we keep it with us? I mean, what?
We
No,
take the little
your,
one with us.
Your chest goes with you. This one stays here. He points to the big one.
I mean, the supplies and stuff that are needed for the ship. Would the chest, the small chest, would
Well,
we leave
if you
that
wish-
on the ship, or?
He says, I have a number of clients who wish to have goods sent to them if they need to reprovision themselves. And if they tell me what they need, I will put it in their chest so they can retrieve it.
So, like, we're
I
out
understand that, but the chest that will be receiving items, I was wondering if we would keep that with us, or if that would stay on our ship for our crew to be able to access. Because,
That's up to us.
I mean, for some reason we get shipped off accidentally to the Feywild or somewhere else, another plane of existence. They are then left without supplies. So,
It's up to us.
I don't know if this goes across planes or not. I've never
Well, we're not going to be the group to
experimented with
try it
that.
for you. So,
we should
There's
probably leave
that.
it on the ship then.
I would think so. I think we leave it on the ship for the crew to get stuff. Or like, we're about to get off the ship and we just realize we don't have health potions.
Well, whatever is requested, it must fit in the confinement of the chest. So make sure that whatever you need will fit in this size here, and that if there's anything in the chest that might interfere with the transport or transfer of items, that may not work at that point. So your chest must be empty, or should be empty, in order for me to put things in. Or
Mhm.
if I arrange them in certain ways, it should work out because I see what's in your chest and etc. So I will assure that anything that I provide uh, will I do not take or remove anything without your permission, as stated in our contract. And he does hand you a rolled up paper. Please review this and ensure. And it's basically just like a bunch of legalese of like we were not responsible for lost or stolen items. On your side of things, we'll reimburse anyone for lost and stolen items from this location. Essentially, if you were to go in and something you put in there suddenly wasn't there, effectively it would be their liability. But so there's a bit of legalese about the transfer of goods and the cost of procurement of items so essentially if you needed to have somebody have them purchase something, he could then put that in there. So in the way of purchasing goods, if you wish, you mentioned healing potions. So if you go ahead and I will let you know through the sending how much it costs. You put the money in the chest. I will retrieve the money and put the goods in. And so I can act as a mobile shopkeeper of sorts.
So we can send you stuff as well.
Mhm.
If a payment is required, I will specifically tell you how much is required, and I will retrieve just that much. Yes, I
Could we
I live and die by my word.
potentially have you sell items for us?
Hmm, I don't usually do that, but it is possible. I could try. Maybe. I
Mm.
I don't recommend it as I do not do much in the way of haggling.
Mhm. Mhm. No, that's understandable. I
I
appreciate
I,
your
I
honesty.
Of course I do. I uh, strive to be as forthright as possible. Well, if there's nothing else, um, as I said, the setup fees were covered. There will be a monthly fee that can be set up with some sort of payment transfer, or whoever wishes to set things there. If you wish to pay in advance, um, effectively, we can do terms where you have a certain amount added to purchases at certain times to cover the fees, whichever you wish to choose. So,
Okay. Mhm. That
are
makes
we all
sense.
in agreement then? Excellent.
Definitely.
Simply sign the
Mhm.
agreement. I will make sure you have a copy as well, and for your records and such. And so, effectively, he hands you a very ornate looking quill with a feather that is half black, half white. Like it's put down the middle, so it's like literally like one side of it is black, the other side of it is white. And he basically holds it
Mhm.
out to you. Simply sign with this.
I will take the pen and I will sign
Eh,
my name.
Excellent. Very good. I appreciate it. Appreciate your business, of course. I look forward to a long and healthy partnership.
Me,
And
me too.
he takes his side and he basically signs the bottom there. And he basically then holds it up and he basically takes he takes the paper in one side, he takes another paper there, he mutters a small phrase and goes, boop, and then hands you one of them. And there's a copy. He just kind of like slaps the two papers together and hands you one, your copy.
Okay. 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 Thanks. I'll take it
Ex-
and
Excellent. Have a wonderful day.
I'll hand it to Eldon because he does all the paperwork stuff.
And
Good.
I will go back
Yep.
over the document again.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah.
And
At that point, the old man will come out there with the hand truck again there and kind of load the thing back up there and pull it back, and then just sort of like go back into the warehouse area.
All right. So who wants to hold the miniature chest until we put it on the boat
And the key probably, yeah.
and the key?
none of us with bags of holding.
I was going to say, if
Yeah.
it's, don't put it in a bag of holding. I do have a backpack if you want me to put it in there.
Yep,
Yeah,
there you go.
You realize that
Just-
element is probably, it doesn't act like a bag of holding per se, but it is sort of an extra dimensional transfer
Yeah, I'm not taking a
item.
risk.
So
You've got a
yeah, you
sphere of
just like
annihilation
yeah,
type of thing
yeah.
happening.
It's
Yeah.
yeah, it's Liam's secret chest is what it is. So
All
and
right.
you realize he's got probably dozens, if not 100 of these things slapped away. So anyway, anything else you wish to do for your evening at this point? Because at this point it's about 6:30 or so. Maybe pushing 7 o'clock once you finish all the paperwork and reading things over. And
No.
So, yeah. Go back and
Do we
work
want to
on
go
some stuff.
talk to the military people about the werewolf that's running around the city?
The military people?
That's what Strega said. He said the military people were dealing with
We should probably
city
investigate
guards.
that
Yeah.
the city guard.
In case it is the coin one, because obviously if somebody has that coin, that will need to be retrieved. And
Mhm.
That-
Do we want to do that before we go back to the ship?
but I don't want to get the other coin yet until we've got rid of the one that we got from
Okay.
Aura.
Oh, we can do that tomorrow.
Yeah. We do that
Or
tomorrow.
the Cora one.
So much for going back to Raven's Crest anytime soon.
We can get to Raven's Crest instantly.
Yeah, we
Oh
can.
yeah,
Could. It's about getting the ship there too. So it's
Like,
Yeah.
why do we need to get the ship there though?
Because
Up to
that's
you.
where our home is.
Mhm.
you want to load
Yeah.
or move things or load people, whatever.
I mean, like, why do we need to take the whole crew back to Raven's Crest?
Because they fly the ship.
They fly the ship, and that's where our home is.
Yeah.
And it's our ship.
If you want to
And-
go someplace that you've never been before, because you can't teleport there if you haven't been there before, or have the coordinates,
As in,
and you have to
going-
travel by ship. Yeah.
But what I'm
As in-
saying though is like we go to Raven's Crest, we do what we need to do, and then we can come back and get the crew and go wherever we can go without the ship.
Sure.
We don't need them to go to Raven's Crest, do we?
Um,
No, but
one,
Go ahead.
I would say one thing is that you're not going to be able to leave the ship floating in the river north of the docks forever. Essentially, it's been sort of been sort of like short-term approved, but that is sort of like shipyard property, and unless you work out an arrangement to leave it there, which you could do. I'm not saying you couldn't, but
we can fly the ship, the couple of days up north, or we can leave it here and get charged money for leaving it parked in a parking spot like we do at every single airport.
Oh, that makes more sense.
Us-
Take it up to Raven's Crest and let it sit there.
plus we have a deal with Dennis Fairwood, who's paying our staff, our crew, that he can use the ship. So if it's
Occasionally,
not in Raven's Crest, then he's not going to be able to do that. So that is definitely where it needs to be.
All right, so let's get it to Raven's Crest and then get back here to Port Oruss
Okay.
Mhm.
because we need to be here.
Eldon and Lucas, give me just an intelligence check. Actually, all four of you give me an intelligence check. There, want you go, everyone go give me an intelligence check.
Well, I will give you my
mean-
best, sir.
Sure. Okay. Actually, Sora and Eldon, you're kind of like thinking about things, and oh wow, werewolf in the
Just-
streets, and
Distracted by my date I just totally had for the first date in my entire life.
exactly. So you're kind of
Aw.
that. Sora, you're kind of playing over the stuff with Strega in your mind and everything. Lucas, you're just. I would say Lucas, like you're sort of a whirlwind because Lucas, you break out your Pegasus for the first time, you fly this thing out there, you had to go run back and go get it, and then you have like the Sealindra for the first time in a while, just all this and all the things that you want to buy, all the things you're researching and looking into, the coin with Akoa, and there's another coin on the streets and Amethyst, it suddenly strikes you. The werewolf coin supposed to be in the Vault of Light.
Yeah.
You were told it's in the Vault of Light.
Yeah.
Ojo, I didn't trust that place.
I think we need to get all of them out, because if those two are out, then maybe they're all out. How many were in the vault? Do we remember?
3.
Three.
So chances are all 3 of them.
Which would be why the chain people just recently down in the south.
No, they've
Patrol.
been there. They've been there for a while. We
Yeah,
heard
we've
that
been-
rumor.
we've been
Heard that
hearing about
rumor a
that.
while ago.
Yeah, we've been hearing about that for months. Yeah.
Yeah, you remember what 3 they were?
Um,
You know, where
no,
the
but I
werewolf was
remember
one,
there were
obviously.
3.
I
Was
don't know that we knew which 3 were in
We
the
didn't.
vault
We
of
didn't know
light.
which 3 they were.
Okay.
yeah,
I don't think that we
No,
actually
we've
looked
not
into
been
it.
told.
Yeah, we
Okay.
didn't look into
No,
it. We were just told that there was 3 coins in the vault, and I said I didn't
Exalvian
really
told us-
trust it. And I said I didn't trust it because something magical had already gotten out once before, and was told no, they've made precautions to make sure that didn't happen again. Obviously, that didn't work.
I know Exalvian told us about 3 coins, and one of those was the werewolf. But one of those was also the Chain Devil, so.
Look at you. That's hot,
And
though.
one was the Arcanoloth. Arcanoloth? I don't know how to say it.
Mhm. Okay.
It could be any of them, because we don't really know which 3.
I piece together, wasn't sure what you guys knew, so that's what I wanted to make sure. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We only knew there was 3 in there. We didn't know which 3 they were.
Gotcha.
Well, we've got rid of 2 already. We have
Mhm.
one on us.
Mhm.
Yeah.
We,
And there were 3 in the vault, and 1 unaccounted for.
which is going to be the Chain Devil that's down with the
Uh-huh.
giants. Probably. Possibly.
theoretically.
Theoretically. Yep.
Theoretically. Or there
Yes,
might
you-
just be another Chain Devil from somewhere else.
Based on your vision, you believe that there are 9, and you were told there are 9 total.
Yeah. And we know that Wraith was going to. Never mind. He was going to be the
Wait.
ninth one, wasn't he? But-
Wait, so then we're missing more than 1.
We know of 3 that were in the temple.
Right. We have
rid of-
3 on us.
We got rid of 2. And we have 1 on us that we have to get to deal with. So
Right.
that's 6.
Yeah.
And then there's the Chain Devil we're assuming is not part of the 3.
There's still
I don't
2
know.
on. There's still 2 unaccounted for.
Correct. 2 unaccounted for.
The only one we didn't know about was the 9th coin. We know about 8 of them, I believe.
We know what they are.
Right.
We know there's a
Yeah.
Balor.
The
There's a
8th one you
Balor.
saw in the vision, yes.
There's a werewolf, a Balor,
An Arcanoloth.
an Arcanoloth,
Spine
a
devil.
werewolf, a spine devil, the Fey,
The Fey plant
succubus,
creature. Yeah.
um,
Shadow Demon.
shadow demon. So 2 of them we don't know what they are.
Right.
Did you count Lucia
Yeah.
already? Or did you think of this?
Huh?
Lucia is part of the
Lucia's-
2 that we've already dealt with.
Wait,
Yeah, that was part of the.
sorry.
Yeah,
Yeah, I missed that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah. There's 2. We have
check.
we have no clue what they are. Yeah.
Trexiot, the Pit Fiend.
Yeah, I counted that one.
Zathor, the Shadow Demon.
Yep. we
Lucia,
counted
the
that one.
Succubus.
Baylor.
Sispinal. That's
the
4.
Fey.
Arcanoloth is 5. Werewolf is 6. Chain Devil 7.
We don't know what the other 2 are.
Balor 8.
Mm-hmm. There's one you
It's-
don't know of.
There's one we don't know
Okay,
of.
there's one we don't know.
Yeah.
You have no clue.
And we know that there are. Well, we've decided that probably the case will be 3 of them demon, 3 of them devil. We found 2 Fey so far, so the other one is going to be
It's going to be
Fey,
another
probably.
Fey.
It's going to be 3,
Yep.
3, and 3. We believe.
We believe.
Look at Ellie's face when you tell him it's going to be Fey.
I just love it. I love it. I don't know what you're talking about.
Fey nerd.
They're
He's a
like the
little
coolest part
stretched.
about this game. They're so weird and so alien. They're just the coolest part of the whole stinking game.
So you kind of piece it together, walking through the streets there, kind of be getting on your way there. When you go back to the ship, do you want to go somewhere else? What's your plan for the evening here?
I say we go back to the ship if you don't want to deal with another coin.
Yeah. Go back to the ship.
Or go to
Well,
the temple and see if
well,
we're missing
I-
a coin.
Okay, I'm down. Just so you know, I have no 4th level, no 3rd level, 1 2nd level, and 2 1st level. Okay, so we're all on the same page. I got my hit points back. I am out of spells.
Yep.
Let's I say let's go see what's going on down there. Because I still
At
have all my
the-
spells, Elney. I think we go down to the temple area and see what's going on down there, just to talk.
You haven't had a long rest since you actually fought the Scarecrow King.
Indeed.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, I'm looking at the wrong sheet. My bad.
Yeah.
I'm looking at the other one.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where am I at? Oh, I still have a spell left. We'll be fine. Let's
No.
go downstairs and go talk to the people in the temple.
Okay.
I vote sleep because I have no spells. I
Right,
have no spells.
We're just going to ask them if they're missing a coin, basically.
Yeah, here, Elney.
Okay.
Here's Eldon. Here is the Ring of Stealth story. It still has whatever it was that you gave me.
I cannot currently attune to this, Miss Sora, and I would like to get some sleep as I am very exhausted as we fought a literal. Miss Sora,
Mr. Eldon,
There's a
we're
lot
just
of
gonna
ti-
talk. We'll be fine.
I think it would be more valuable for us to get some rest, as to be full steam ahead, as they say. Yes.
Listen, I agree with you. We do need rest to get everything ready, right? But there is a werewolf in the city attacking people. If somebody gets attacked tonight, it's on us because we know about it and we know how to fix it and we did it.
So
We can't fix it right now. Plus, we've got to go on this errand for your brother. And we need to get rid of this 1 coin before we start picking up more.
The errand for my brother, he'll send word when it's time to do it. We don't have anything else to do with him now.
I do not know about you, but many of my items need refreshed, need time to pick up the ambient magic, as that is how Manatech works. Many of my. There are many things that I need to do over the night, including sleep. If a werewolf was to happen right now, there's very little I could do to stop him.
So, real quick, the chest and quill is right around here. This kind of region right in here. So, were you leaving there and going north, or were you leaving there and
heading toward the ship?
Effectively, yeah, you're heading to the ship there. You could easily turn around and go back to the vault, to the Temple of Light. The Vault of Light is right underneath that. So you basically have. So effectively, you're probably, we'll say you're about, as you're discussing this, you're about halfway from the lift, halfway from the vault. So at this point, you're kind of at a, like, you're standing at a point now where you can make the decision to go either let's head back or let's go back south. What do you want to do? I know what Eldon wants to do. I know what Sora wants to do. What about the other two?
I want to go down to the temple.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, we can definitely go and see if the coins are missing, we need to know about it. If 1 coin is missing and the other 2 are there, we should probably get them. We should probably take them because if somebody's taken 1, they'll come back for the others. But the idea of having 3 on us is fucking terrifying. So that needs to be dealt with ASAP.
It is
But we
very
also
scary.
do definitely need to get some sleep. So
Yes.
Yes, and if we have 3 on us, that the cult will have. I mean, not that we do not have a hunter's mark on ours already. However, that will put a greater mark on us. So we need sleep for if that happens.
Is Eldon's
So
girlfriend still technically here?
no, he walked her back to the lift essentially and got her back to
Yeah.
the ship there, and
Okay.
then came to meet you. So yeah, he walked her back and then
We're
yeah.
not
So-
boyfriend girlfriend yet. It was the first date. It doesn't happen on a first date.
Depends on the date. I don't know.
Sure, Eldon. We'll go with that one.
So
Eldon wants
It's-
that to be a
it's
thing, but
3 against 1 here to go check out the vault. So
Eldon will
but-
grudgingly. Eldon is gonna like just reach into his bag and like pull out his book and start angrily
Look,
writing in his book.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on, Eldon. Look, I got you something while we were at that shop as we're walking and talking, Jim.
Mhm.
It's on my character sheet here. I got you something. It was a book that
Oh.
has the last page missing, the last chapter missing. But it's a book that has the last chapter missing. I don't know what it's about, but I bought it.
I believe it was actually. Yeah, we look it up later on. This is kind of fun.
Mhm.
So, anyway, you get down to the vault. Or you get down to the Temple of Light there, head around back to the vault, and uh, Father Barthus. That's what it was. Yeah, Father Barthus. Is Brafton. That's what it was. Yeah, Brafton. Father Brafton will meet essentially. Seems somewhat pleased. He's very again. He's a very gruff, older, kind of that bald, just hard looking man there in the brown robes and such. Very simple clothing there. But well, it's good to see you. Right. What can I do for you?
We would like to check on the magic coins, if at all possible.
Magic coins. I don't believe we discussed this before, but what is the nature of these coins?
I believe that something
He ushers you in. He doesn't make you wait outside. He brings you back
Uh-huh.
into the area there, and again the back window, the office there being a sort of like a roll up window kind of thing that's currently closed. Desk, very nice, simple, like homey, very lighting in here. A large couch and some a little like a break area kind of thing off to the side. He is there by himself at the moment, but you ushers you all in. You wish to coins. Describe the coins to me. I should be able to find out what they are.
Are they
Platinum.
golden? Platinum.
Platinum coins, right? And so he'll actually go and retrieve a book. And start
They
flipping
look like
through.
this one.
You pull it
And I'll
out.
show
Are you
him
serious?
my lucky coin.
Yeah,
Oh,
yeah,
your lucky coin.
yeah,
Okay.
the coin of fortune. Oh, coin of. And you kind of pause there, looking there. Coin of. Interesting. It says the coins were smudged. There's no smudge on yours. Regardless, yes, I believe this is a area 5 row 3 shelf 11. Okay, yes, should be. Um,
Are they all kept together or are they kept separate?
it says they're kept in a box, sealed box. And yes, says there's 2 coins.
2.
There should be 3.
It says here 2 coins, identical. Let's you show like that's what it says here in the entry. It's 2 coins, platinum coins, image of a man, image of a tower, smudge on the tower.
I'll pull out the paperwork we got from the academy that gives us permission to take out the 3 coins that they're supposed to have.
And
Oh.
and also, may I look at that document? I want to inspect it hard to see if it has been changed.
Okay. Give me a I would say give me an investigation check.
Can I guidance this as well?
Yes, yeah, absolutely. So to prepare yourself, you're sending yourself there and do guidance there as you investigate there. Um, it's hard to be certain, but
30.
yeah, you're fairly certain that entry was altered.
Mm.
It is not a physical alteration. This entry was altered by some sort of magic. But there is no lingering trace of magic. This must have been done a long time ago. As
Um,
the ink matches the ink around it, the paper is not marred in any way. With the 30, you're very certain this was altered a long time ago.
Mr. Director, you have a big problem. Yes, this has been changed. You have holes in your house, and your house is leaking goods like nothing I have ever seen before.
You will notice the entry of this coin in from here is 80 years old. You know Father Grafton isn't that old.
Yeah.
So this was not done. This definitely was not done from when he was here. This has been at least, or if the entry has been changed recently, it doesn't show it in the paper. It doesn't show anything else there. It is a very tricky change. I mean, it's with the it's a small box, 2 coins. I mean, I can absolutely show. I mean, you have the orders there to retrieve these coins. I can't really go against that, but yes, I will. There's no indication of what the 3 coins are or any sort of other identifying marks on them. So um, it's just they've been here for quite a while.
Except there were 3 of them, and now one's gone. Maybe before your time, but still.
I think that you need to perform a full inventory on everything.
I thought we asked him to do that before.
We do this on a weekly basis. I mean, it's a continual basis. Actually, we never stop inventory and we go and check. So we check against our logs, we check against any sort of tampering, we check against a number of things. I can, based on your request there or your orders, I can retrieve the box for you now.
Yeah.
That's what you want.
Yes.
Yeah.
You didn't notice your book had been tampered with. And
I-
if your book says there's supposed to be 5 things and there was 6, how would you know?
I mean, I guess we wouldn't. I mean, there's no way to tell that. I mean, unless someone were to alter it. I mean, this book doesn't leave my or the other supervisor's presence. I mean, he literally has it. He pulled it out of his robes. It was his book. He carries it with him all the time. When I'm not here, the alternate director will then take the book and it never leaves our possession.
I already gave her some.
It's a bit worrying that this is supposed to be the most secure vault around, and then recently 2 things have seemed to have disappeared.
That will not happen again. We have closed that loophole. But this, if what you're saying is true, this has been altered by someone who had authority or power to change this entry. I don't know of a way to account for that, unless it happened before I took possession of this. I could only do what we can do. I mean,
Who was your predecessor?
Father Kalor. Kalor, he'd been in charge for 50 years.
How long
We
have
have
you
better ones, but this...
How long have you been director? Out of curiosity.
30 years now. he's somewhere in his 50s. I I was I was second in command. My partners will take over from me as the primary um, caretaker when a new one steps into his position. Essentially, when
Is
I'm ready to retire.
Are we
Is he
trusting
still-
this guy?
is he still alive? Yes, I'm not the one to ask him.
I will say this. I mean, I won't even make you roll for it because you're passive or not. This guy is absolutely like stone faced. Like you would be surprised if you even could tell a lie just based on this guy here. There is like nothing deceitful about him. He is shocked that this could be a problem. Obviously he was last time too.
Yeah, I was gonna say we did an insight check on him last time to make sure that
Yeah,
he wasn't
he is
working.
rock solid. And even without a roll there, I mean, like he is. Yes, Kalora is no longer the previous director is no longer with us. He passed on a number of years ago. Um, he'd been in the position for 40 years. I figure I have a good. Well, maybe not now if this is happening again.
Yeah.
But
These coins are incredibly dangerous, though, and if someone has one, they're able to summon the creature within the coin, then quite frankly, lots of people are going to die. So we need to go and track that down, and we will be needing to take those other two with us,
all right,
so that we can get that done.
This did happen 80 years ago, to my best estimation. However, it could have been even longer or some shorter. Not quite sure. Just a guess.
Why is it just happening now? Why is there a werewolf running around the streets now?
There's something we're missing.
Maybe the coin was lost and it's been found again by somebody.
It's just a bit of a coincidence, though, that there's a cult out there trying to raise the Dark King, and then all of a sudden one of the coins has magically been found again. It's too coincidental.
That rant is happening in our heads, by the way.
Sure, yeah. He will go and retrieve the coins. He comes back. He hands you a small wooden box, not actually dissimilar in size from the box you just received from Boom there. And it's it's not the same kind of box. It's not enchanted as far as you can tell. Well, it's essentially it's
enchanted, just different kind.
Yeah, basically it's sealed essentially. We don't open the box. We can't open the box. It's magically sealed to prevent from any tampering, and we made sure the seals are in place. So he hands over the box to Lucas, who just hands it over to you.
Yeah.
You don't feel anything strange other than the fact that it is magically sealed.
Try opening it anyways.
It won't budge. Doesn't seem to open.
I'm just, pretend magic seals. You never know.
Sure.
I'll ask him how do you open it?
Essentially, it's an arcane lock, so I assume points to it may be a way to dispel it or prevent it. I have no way of doing it myself, and we don't ever tamper with the seals on any of our items to ensure that the contents don't go.
But we know that the coins are still definitely in there because somebody's tampered with it and taken at least one out. So how do we know that the other two are still in there?
Eldon, what were you saying?
I could open it in the morning. I don't have the spell slots to open it now.
We're gonna have to wait till morning, but at least now we have the coins in our possession.
Maybe.
Right.
Okay.
Well, I can cast Dispel Magic on it.
You got it?
You got spell slots?
Do you have the spell slot?
Yeah.
You want to do it here?
Oh my god, we're about to open the box and there's nothing in there. We're about to open this box, there'll be nothing in this box.
Lucas,
but then again, I think probably we should, because if the coins aren't in there, he needs to know that the coins aren't in there too, because he needs to know that we don't have those coins.
Okay, so Lucas, you gonna go ahead and cast it?
Yeah. Well.
Okay. What level can you cast it at?
Okay, ready in action.
I'll cast it third, initially.
Okay. Well, give me a caster check.
What is the cast?
For you, it's a charisma check. So yeah.
If it fails, I can cast it at 6. I never used my 6th level spell.
Your charisma check would do it too.
Not very good. 15.
Okay. Yeah, it won't quite budge there. Amethyst, you want to go ahead and cast it 6?
Mhm.
Okay. At 6, it pops open. You see that, Lucas, you kind of feel the little shake to it there, and you hear a little click. Not so much a click of a lock, but click of magic, maybe. And you open the box. It is empty.
Oh my god.
Knew
Do
it.
it.
Knew it.
And we're going to call it right there for today, as you are
Oh, I have
looking at
words.
the empty box. I want to thank you all for listening. Thank you all for being here. Thank you, Natalie. I know you have to go here, so we're going to wrap this up real fast here. But real fast, just want to say that we are moving Avress to a different server, the Tumble Tankard server. The game will continue. The game will be streamed, and you'll be able to continue watching with us there. We have little bugs to work out there, but we will have everything in place there and continue our adventures, continue moving things on here. Link is in the description of the video. Excellent. Awesome. Thank you so much, as always, our Khaleesi, our House of Gamers Discord server, and now the Tumbled Tankard Discord server as we move forward, continue with our RPG community. I want to thank everyone for being here. Thank you for watching. And as always, thanks for hanging out at the Tankard. Drinks are on us, and we'll see you again real soon. Bye, everyone. Take care.
Right.
Bye.
Oh my gosh, yes.
Oh no.
Bye, guys.
Bye.